People wanna keep us in check. Tearing down each other is what they expect. You want love, well, ain't that a bet? We got to give before we can get. Like a battle who is.
What's up, guys? Welcome to our new monthly series. That's right. I decided to make it a monthly series. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with Best to Worst, but we are here. So welcome to Best to Worst. And yeah, and every once in a while, maybe you'll see us go 2 times in a month if we end up having a slow month. But so far, we are busy here. So just bringing you all kinds of content. So tonight, we are in the beginning of something that's going to be fun for the whole family. So we are doing a big family movie series, which is going to be we're going to be ranking all of our favorite family movies, and the goal is to come up with a definitive list of our at least top 25, maybe 30 for the Movie Hero Network of all of our favorite family movies, and we're going to do that for a bunch of different genres. So we're going to have 4 episodes. We got 5 of us. We each picked an equal amount of family movies. And then we got some off of flickchart.com because I like to use that for some objective popular family movies kind of voted in by the fans. We just took 10 from that, and then we're going to come up with our favorites. And for each episode, there's going to be 4 episodes followed by championships because we need content. So not that we're lacking, but we'll just have some content to keep us going. And we're gonna we put all of the family movies into a big wheel, so it's all completely and totally random. So the movies that showed up tonight were the first ones to pop up on the wheel. We're gonna rank them. The top 5 from every episode will be what makes the championship. So that's what's kind of most important, but overall, just kind of ranking the ones we like, ones we don't like. And if you are not familiar with it, it's just a combination of tier ranker and blind ranking, those two. So you'll see, and it should be a fun time. And if you're tuning in, definitely give your thoughts in the live chat, and it should be a fun time. So let's go ahead and introduce our crew for tonight. And one of the biggest family movie fans I know in this community, we have Mr. Brian Nussbaum. How's it going?
Very good. Here to talk some movies for fun for the whole family, and yeah, it should be a good time.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, and then we also have Malcolm Lay. How's it going?
It's going good. And yeah, it's definitely interesting to see sort of what came up when I filtered my top I think at this point it's 220, 215 or something into family movies and see what they considered family movies. If something come up that's surprised me, and yeah, but
yeah, for sure, yeah, and for me and probably for most of it, it's going to be very tough because I pretty much like almost every movie on this whole entire list, even the ones that I don't like quite so much. I don't hate them. I don't like them as much. So yeah. So it'll be difficult. Yeah, right. But we also have joining us. We have Chad Webb. What's up, Chad?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, these are the types of movies I watch now because I have an 18-month-old. So
nice.
Yeah,
it's always fun. Let's wait for the time when you got to watch the same movie on repeat over and over again. You got to watch Frozen about 24 times in a row, or whatever, so
some of those films might make it to his one trade later on.
Yeah, right. But last but certainly not least, we have Dylan Randazzo. How's it going, Dylan?
It's going very well. Thank you for having me. Some technical difficulties before the show, but I've made it. I'm alive. This was fun. I also think just because all our generations are a little different, so we all grew up with different movies, and I think when you think of family movies, a lot of it comes from your own childhood, because technically a family movie should also be a kid's movie to some extent, because fun for the whole family. Put up that graphic. But I do think, right. it is fun because it's nice to rank something without having to rank it just based on what is my favorite and what is my least favorite. Because now there's an extra kind of criteria where it's okay, we're looking at it in the guise of a family movie. So what's number 5 on my list may be lower or higher on any other day, but because it's a family list, it's more fun to be okay, which one though do I think is the embodiment of a family film? And I think that's a lot of fun too, because it helped me kind of put it together a different list than I otherwise would have done, where it would have just been a lot of the same types of films stacked at the top. So I'm really excited. I think we have a good bunch for this first 25 in terms of variety as well. Live action, animated, Christmas, like everything under the
we got
sun.
everything.
So I like it. So thank you for having me, and I'm excited for this.
Yeah. And how it's gonna work, we all came in with our list pre-ranked. I got my handy dandy letterbox here on my phone, and we're just gonna average it out. So we got to do math. So I also got my calculator ready to go. And when I bring up the chart, which actually I could just go ahead and do it now. As you can see, there's gonna be actually 25 spots. So once a spot is taken, then it's off the table. So let's say, like, if you had the Mighty Ducks and we ranked that at like maybe number 10 or something like that, then that spot's no longer taken. So if anything else averages number 10, we have to decide if it goes above or if it goes below, and where we want to put it. So yeah, but it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you'll kind of catch on if you haven't done this or seen this before, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. So yeah, and also too, we encourage everybody to keep their comments fairly short here, or else we're going to have a pretty long show. So I'd say about 20 seconds or so. So it's more of like just a ranking, but I mean, definitely have some little something to say if you want to. So yeah, so that's kind of what we'll do, because the first time we decided to do 50 Adam Sandler movies and we went 4 hours, so we don't want to do that. This is only 24 or 25, I mean, so we shouldn't be too bad, at least half that length, hopefully. So yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do. I'm just gonna do a quick little adjustment on my end, and let's see, I'm gonna do some zooming and zooming out. All right, cool. So we always go at we start with the person on the bottom, and how it's gonna work. We're not really gonna nominate anything. We're just gonna go right through the list. So all the movies are just in a completely random order. There's not really alphabetized or really anything. I just downloaded all the files, and based on whatever random gobbledygook the file name was, they came up in a random order. So this is the order we're going to do it. And so the first movie will be ranking will be Whale Rider. So we'll go to Dylan first. Do you have anything to say about Whale Rider, and where do you have it ranked?
Yeah, this is actually great because this is the last one I watched for this in terms of new watches. I hadn't seen this one, and I watched this one this morning. I did one other rewatch later today, but this was good. I think it's tough because a lot of these have such nostalgia that the ones that don't, I think, end up falling a little lower. So I have this at 19, which is in like the middle third of the list, I would say. But I think it's solid. I think it's great. I think it could be a little slow for kids, but I do think it's overall a really good family message. It's also cool to get something that's a little bit more international, something that has a different kind of pacing and style to it than you're used to. And I think the central performances are very good. So I have a feeling I know who put this on the list, and I love having that New Zealand representation both in the panel and
I wonder.
But I do really like it, and it has such great things to say about Indigenous culture and in environmentalism as well. So I'm gonna go 19 is where I put it.
Yeah, sounds good. And also, just to remind everyone, family movies, they include animated, they include live action, they include some longer movies, some short films maybe. So yeah, there's a wide variety. So but we'll go to Chad. What do you say about Whale Rider, and where do you have it ranked?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of on the same wavelength as Dylan. I had it at 18. I really, really liked this movie. I liked what it had to say about, like, it's kind of a coming of age story, really, about, like, this girl who wanted to, like, be a part of her tribe, and just like she kept being shunned because she's a woman. And I just love what it had to say about that. And I think that main performance is crushing. Like, it destroyed me, like when she's on the stage and everything. If you know that scene, you know it. Yeah, I don't know what Dylan said about your representation, all that stuff. I just think it's a really good movie. It's just like, I think, yeah, it's a little bit lower on like the family scale. I agree with that. So 18 for me. It's great though.
Sounds good. Well, Malcolm, I'm pretty sure this was on your list. So where do you have it ranked?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is one that I was surprised that it came up when I filtered my all-time list to family movies, because but it's one of those ones, like, as I said in the chat, like, I'm ranking these based on how much I enjoy the movie, not about how much I quantify it as a family movie. Because there's some movies on this list that I'll probably put lower if I was focusing more on the family movie aspect on this. But
Yeah.
I love the movie. I think it's great. It's I've got it down at number 3.
Number 3, all right. Sounds good. So we'll go to Brian. What do you say about Whale
Yeah,
Rider?
for some reason I have a few blind spots, so Jordan mentioned like if I see the trailer, I'll see where I rank it. But yeah,
Just
I
do your
have it
best.
at number 22 for me.
All right. So number 22. Average that in. And then for me, yeah. So just because this isn't one that I necessarily grew up with, and like I only saw it one time last year for the very first time. I think I watched it when Malcolm did a bunch of new movies filmed in New Zealand, or like New Zealand
Well, I
type
mean,
movies, like that.
could have been for when I did my top 28, because I know it was.
It could have been that too, yeah. But I saw it and it was very good though, but for me it's just really difficult because there's just so many great movies. I'm also a huge family movie fan, and so yeah, I just because there's so many bangers on the list, I have it at a number 23 for me, so a little lower, but so that is going to average it out to number 17. So Malcolm's higher ranking brought it up a little bit, but so it'll officially be definitively at number 17 for Whale Rider. So not too bad. So
It's a
there we
fun
go.
format. Keeps things a little unpredictable. I love it.
Yeah, right. So 17 is off the table. So, but next up we have the Mighty Ducks, and we'll kind of rotate the ladder. So we'll go to Chad first for the Mighty Ducks. What do you have to say?
All right. Might piss some people off, but this is my very lowest ranked at 25. I never really grew up with the Ducks. I had seen it like a little bit when I was a kid. I feel like, but I don't remember ever really having this truly in the rotation. I think I've seen maybe the first 2, and I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of like your standard story of like a ragtag group coming back, all that stuff. It's good for that, especially if you grew up with it, I think, and have a lot of nostalgia for it. It's probably really good to you. And I have another movie on this list that I really love, particularly for nostalgia. But for this one,
Okay.
not as much. And I'm not sure if at some point Heavyweights ends up on the list, but that's kind of like the other one that's kind of similar to the Mighty Ducks that I really love, that I hope someone actually did put on, because I actually left it off of my list entirely, which I feel sad about now. But enough about that movie. Mighty Ducks, unfortunately, it's at 25. There's a lot of really great movies on this list, though. So I'm not saying it's like a bad movie, Mighty Ducks. It's just mid.
Yeah, right. Well, Chad.
This is on my list, though. I think it was on my list for bad movies.
Okay, yeah, and it's on my list also. So yeah, we had a few crossovers, but yeah, Chad does not like hockey movies, right?
Well, it depends. I love Happy Gilmore's more of a golf movie.
Yeah, true.
Hockey
Yeah,
stick.
but
technically,
he's got a
I do
hockey
like
stick.
a
Yeah,
hockey movie.
but we'll go to Malcolm. What do you say about the Mighty Ducks?
Yeah. So I don't remember ever watching Mighty Ducks when I was a kid. I think I watched it for the first time a few years ago when Disney Plus first came out. But I mean, I like it. I think it's a good movie. I've got it at number 10.
So not too bad at number 10. All right. Brian, what do you say about the Mighty Ducks?
Yeah, I have the same rank as Malcolm, number 10 for me. I do enjoy the film. I love the ragtag group of kids. You get some great characters. Quack.
Yeah.
Number 10 for me.
Yeah. So for me, I'm a huge Mighty Ducks fan. Coach Gordon Bombay is like my definitive coach of like probably almost any sports movie. I'm a big Emilio fan, and the quack, Mr. Ducksworth, and just the way that he's like kind of brings a ragtag group of like just like misfits and like brings them together, and they're basically like a family by the end of this thing, and That's a great that soundtrack for a family movie. Like if you hear that Mighty Ducks theme, you can instantly recognize it. Dun, 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 you know, but it's good. So I have it ranked at number 5 for me, so pretty high. So because I did grow up with it. So, but Dylan, what do you say about the Mighty Ducks?
Yeah, it's funny. I don't want anyone to think that we're conspiring because we didn't discuss this ahead of time, but I wanted to show you my list. I'm not going to spoil the penultimate pick, but I also have it at 25, like Chad. So there's only 2 movies on this whole list that I just don't like very much, and it's not to say that this is a bad movie, but I just don't. I don't know. It might be a hockey thing. I've always tried to get into hockey. Never loved the sport unless I was watching it in person. Like I can't get into it on TV. My ex-girlfriend's dad worked for the NHL, and I didn't like hockey. I tried so hard. So it might just be a hockey thing, but I didn't love this one. I watched this one last night. Maybe it was a little too late at night. Maybe I was getting sleepy. I'm not a big Emilio guy, so it might have been all those things, but I also, like Chad, had it at 25. We're just thinking alike because our Whale Rider ranks were one off too. I wonder if Chad and I just have the same list. Maybe we do. That'd be really cool. Great minds think alike though, but I respect all of you for having it higher. Just 25 for me. It's my least favorite of this crop, which is a good crop.
Right. Well, I mean, even though hockey may be, I mean, even for me, like a little boring to watch on TV, they're a blast to go to in person, and especially if you sit right up against the glass and you get to see them slamming up against the glass, and they get a fight. They get to do a lot of cool stuff. So definitely fun to go to if you ever get a chance. But so with that, with the higher votes, though, it still averages out to number 15, believe it or not. So it'll be higher than Whale Rider, so 15 for the Mighty Ducks. So 15 is off the table, and we move to the Miracle on 34th Street, which I don't know if this is like the original, but it's like the.
Well, I think
It's
it was
the original.
the original that was on the list. So.
Yeah, that poster is also the original. It's colorized, but that.
Yeah,
you're good.
But I just wasn't sure. For some reason, I had it in my head that there was one that was made even before this, but probably not because this movie's pretty old. But we'll go to Malcolm first. What do you say about Miracle on 34th Street from the 40s, I believe?
Yeah, I like Miracle on 34th Street. I think it's good. It's a good Christmas movie. I'm actually in the camp that I actually prefer the 90s version a little bit more. But I still like the 40s version. I've got it at 17.
Number 17. All right. Sounds good. Brian, what do you say about Miracle on 34th Street?
Yeah, it might be hot take, but for me, I have it at number 23 because I rank these based off family aspect. And hey, kids, you want to see Santa in court? For the whole family.
Yeah, right.
Number 23 for me.
For the whole family. Yeah. We're 23. All right. Yeah, for me, I really do like this one a lot, but I probably just started watching it every Christmas because I do watch it every Christmas now, but I just started doing that about 10 years ago. So I didn't really grow up with it, but it is great though. I think it's one of the best Santa Clauses brought to screen with I think it's Edmund Gwenn, and of course Natalie Wood. Yeah. And which whatever happened to Natalie Wood, I don't know if she was murdered at sea or like what happened to her, but that's always been a conspiracy kind of thing. but the movie's really good. It's really charming, and like it does some kind of out of the box stuff, like just trying to figure out if this guy truly is Santa Claus, and some courtroom stuff, which I think just makes it fun for the whole family because it appeals to both kids, to adults, to like almost any age group, I feel like. So yeah, I have it though still pretty low though, surprisingly, just because this list is just so stacked. I have it at number 22. So even though I really do like it. So but Dylan, what do you say about Miracle on 34th Street?
Yeah, I seem to be, I think, the most recent to it because I watched it for the first time 2 years ago when Chad and I covered it on Picture This, and it ended up being one of our only family movies that won the slate. We actually gave one 2 months ago as well, but I won't spoil it in case Chad put it on, which I'm sure he did later. But not many family movies that win Picture This or win Best Picture. This didn't win Best Picture, but it was nominated. So I've always loved this one, always, as if I've been watching it. I've loved this one since I've seen it, since I've been seeing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with Brian in the sense that it might be a slightly tad bit more mature than some other Christmas movies that are a little bit more geared toward like little kids. But I think because you have Natalie Wood's character as such a focal point, you're able to kind of see it through that lens. But I do think you can appreciate it more as you grow up, but still enjoy it when you're young. But I put this in number 9. I put this in my top
Oh,
third
number 9.
on the list,
Nice.
or top half, I guess. Yeah, I like this one a lot.
Yeah, sounds good. Chad, what do you say about Miracle on 34th Street?
So if you want it to be fun for the whole family, just don't bring up Natalie Wood's untimely demise, okay?
Yeah, right now.
Don't put that
Yeah,
graphic up
you
when I'm saying
mood
that.
killer.
Yeah, right.
But no. Yeah, I mean, I'm the one who I believe put this one on the list.
We both did.
I
Chad.
love
Yeah.
I love this movie. I have it at number 4.
Ooh, okay.
This is one of my favorite like Christmas movies, family movies. I saw the story for the first time at a local theater where they were doing like I think it was just a play version. I don't think they made a musical out of it or anything. But I was like really interested in the story, and I was like, wow, that's actually kind of a cool concept. And I finally watched the original version, fell in love with it, fell in love with that Santa, fell in love with Natalie Wood. I just love the whole story about, the I don't want to say uptight mother, because you understand why she's doing what she's doing, but then Santa comes in to bring like whimsy, fun, and magic and stuff to this little girl, and kind of opens her eyes to actually being a child. So it shows like a lot of the people who might be closed off how to get grasp their inner child. So yeah, it might have like a court case at the end, but there's still some really funny fun family stuff in the court case as well. And I don't know if this is minority or majority, or if there is one at all, but I actually don't like the 90s version, because I feel like it's just it's one of those movies that does exactly the same thing that the original did. It just tries to explain everything to you. But I've only seen it once, so maybe I'm in the minority on that one. I do think Mara Wilson is really good in the movie, though, and also the director Attenborough is good in the movie as well.
Yeah.
Looks like Dylan might be back, which is good.
Yeah, but the whole conspiracy about Natalie Wood, was it Robert Wagner that killed her, maybe, or I guess Christopher Walken was out there?
I have no idea.
Who knows? I don't know. But with that though, with your and Dylan's higher ranking, it does go, and this is the fun part about the best word, at number 15. So we already have one there. So now we have to decide if it goes higher or if it goes lower. I kind of vote lower. That's just me.
I say lower.
I say higher at 14 personally, because it was my 4. But
what do you say, Malcolm?
Up to the group.
Lower.
So 3-1 for lower.
Yeah,
Oh,
because I imagine maybe
Dylan,
even if he would have said higher, the majority kind of overruled.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I've assumed Dylan would have said higher since he had it higher.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll remember that.
Yep. So right at number 16. So not too far lower. It only drops down 1, because sometimes when you have a big block, it'll drop way down. So it just depends.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
Right. Hey. So
can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm on a different laptop, so this should be better. I'm sorry if my audio quality is not as crisp, but I think this
sounds good.
How we're gonna go. Okay.
Yes, this sounds actually pretty good. Yeah. And
okay,
and Miracle on 34th Street made it to 16 is where it's at. So
okay.
So we're for the vote for that.
I cried for like 2 minutes.
How did it end up at 16 though?
So it averages out to number 15, but then we had to make a vote if we wanted to put it higher or lower than the Mighty Ducks. Me, Brian, and Malcolm voted lower, and then just because there's 2 of you, the majority rules. So it went to
I got you. I also have 15 on my chart, so I was wondering how we would decipher ties.
Yeah,
that explains it. Cool.
Yep. Yeah, it's based on the average, but yeah, we'll go to the Karate Kid next, the original. So we will go to Malcolm first. Where do you have the Karate Kid?
He went,
that's right. Yeah, so it'll be then Brian. Where do you have it ranked, and what do you think of it?
I have it ranked number 12 for me. I prefer the second one a bit more, in my opinion. I met well much of the exact convention last year, but for me, I think the second one I like a bit more. So have it at number 12.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm a huge Karate Kid fan. I also met William Zabka. I met Ralph Macchio at a convention, and also Peyton List, who's not in the movie, but she's in the TV series. So, and yeah, I think that it's really really cool. And like, I really miss Pat Morita. Like, he was so uh, great in the Karate Kid, just like being the like wise older sensei, and like, you just watch this and like, you want to just like embrace it all, and like learn all the different ways, like the different like just centering yourself, and like being spiritual, and like, but then also using it for defense, and then you see the like juxtaposition with the Cobra Kai, and you see them that they like strike first, no mercy, and like, just all comes down to that All Valley tournament, and that crazy, the crane kick and all that stuff, which gets brought up several times in the TV series. And if you haven't seen the TV series, you should go check that out, because in my opinion, it's even better than the movies. But yeah, because part two that just dropped a couple of days ago of the final season. So yeah, I have it ranked at, let's see, because I also have the second one ranked a little higher. I prefer that one, but I have it ranked at number 8. So try have it. But Dylan, what do you say about the Karate Kid?
Yeah, I think you said all the best stuff about it. I like this one. It's not one that I go back to a lot, but it is a great, just classic kids family sports film. I love the performances. It's iconic. I do like this better than the second one. Spoiler alert. So I'm gonna put this at number 15. This is right, kind of almost in the middle of my list. It was solid. 15.
Yeah, sounds good. Chad, what do you say about Karate Kid?
Yeah, I love this movie. It's definitely a classic. I'm a little different. I like the TV show, but I haven't like finished it or anything, or I'm not like really caught
Yeah.
up. But I think this is the best Karate Kid thing I've ever seen. Personally, maybe if I finish the show, that'll change. But currently, I just think it's kind of a masterpiece of like sports film. So I have it at 13.
All right.
Which is like almost like right in the middle, but like people have
Yeah.
been saying, this is just a stacked list.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's hard to rank a lot of the stuff. But yeah, this movie's a classic. Pat Morita, Ralph Macchio, kicking ass, taking names. That in tournament is
Yep.
just incredible. Elizabeth Shue's great. So yeah, it's
Oh yeah.
it's just a classic easily.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good. Malcolm, what do you say about the Karate Kid?
Yeah, I'm not that high on the Karate Kid movies in general. Like, I only saw them for the first time a few years ago, actually. But it's just one of those like franchises that I've never I didn't watch back when I was a kid, so it's just one of those ones that I just didn't connect to a lot. I've got the first Karate Kid at 19.
All right, 19, not too terrible. So that's going to average it out to a 13.4. We do round up if it's a 0.5, but for right now, it'll be at number 13 is where it's going to be. So actually, the highest movie so far. So
Wait, Malcolm, where did you have it?
19.
Yeah, number 19. Yeah. So yeah, be at 13, and then we'll move on to the next one. It'll be Singing in the Rain, and it'll be me first. And you know me, I'm not a big musical guy per se, but I love Singing in the Rain. Though there's about a handful of maybe about a dozen musicals that I do really connect to, but that's probably about it. But even so, just based on this, I don't have it as high as some on the list, but just watching the like dancing, and like you really got to be like an athlete to pull some of those moves off. It's like crazy, and yeah, it's just really really good. But like we said, we have a stacked list, so I have it at number 19 for me, where I have it. So, but Dylan, what do you say about Singing in the Rain?
Yeah, I mean, I only have 20 seconds, but I could talk about it for 6 hours. This is my favorite movie of all time. So as soon as you said, what are your favorite family films? I was like, well, my favorite film is a family film. And I know A lot of people would kind of categorize it differently because they're thinking musical first, and that's fine. I think musicals can also be family films, and I think if you want to introduce kids into a nice history lesson on like the turning of the tides in terms of film history, I think this is a great way to like teach them young and just to give them the concept of silent films to talkie films. I think it's very accessible in that way. And as you said, like the dancing is so infectious, so engaging that even if the kids aren't old enough to grasp all the historic stuff, the biopic of it all, I think they can enjoy the dancing and the singing and the color. And it's quick, it's short, it's sweet, it's fun. The characters are engaging, they're silly, they're entertaining. It has everything in it that you want from a movie, but especially for a movie for the whole family. I would gladly show my kids this movie because it's not inappropriate, even though it does. It's not your traditional family movie. But as soon as I thought about it, I was like, you know what, it counts. So I'm going to put it on the list. And because it is my favorite movie, I had to rep it at number one. I know it's probably going to end up a little lower on the list, but because it's my favorite movie of all time and it is a family movie, I was like, it's a no-brainer for me. This was the only one that I was definitive number one. Everything else I had to think about for more than 5 seconds. But this one, I was like, yep, no, well, that's number one. And then even my bottom two, I had to tussle between which was 24 and 25. But this one, I was like, yep, my number one favorite movie of all time. I would expect anyone to do the same if their favorite movie were on a list like this. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the number one might just shoot it right up the list. We'll see what everyone else has it at. Chad, what do you say about Singing in the Rain?
Yeah, I mean, of course I knew that about Dylan. If you look at his channel, his logo is a Singing in the Rain thing.
Yeah.
So of course he loves this movie, and I do too. I think I skyrocketed it to like the top of my watch list because of Dylan, and I do also really love it. I think it is a great musical, one of the best. I don't think it's like my favorite musical, but I adore watching it. Like some of the feats they pull off in this movie, like just with the what the Moses opposes, make them laugh, just like some of the most brilliant like physical like comedy and dancing that you can ever see. And this is like I grew up watching Debbie Reynolds as an old lady, and then I get to see her in this movie as a young lady. And that's really cool. And Dylan praised so much of this, so I also think it's fantastic. I do kind of in my head like don't categorize it like that high as like a family film personally, but I totally get the argument of the whole family can watch it and love it, and that is what a family movie is. So yeah, I totally get that. But I personally had it at number 12, I believe. Let me check. Number 12. But it could go up higher with more watches. I think I've only seen it like twice.
Yeah. Well, Debbie Reynolds, when you look at her filmography, she's done quite a few family movies. Because for me, I know her from like all the Halloween Town like movies.
I was about to say that.
She's in all of those, yeah. so those are fun. But yeah. Well, Malcolm, what do you say about Singing in the Rain?
Yeah, Singing in the Rain is one that when it came up on the list, like I did in my head is like, is it a family movie? Because I personally don't consider it a family movie. But it's a really good movie, and at the end of the day, like there's look, if you're in the chat, like there was a big long debate on what is a family movie at one point. And like it led to a lot of text messages, audio responses, and everything. But at the end, like as I said, at the end of the day, like whatever people put on the list, like I'll take, and I will rank the movies based on how much I like the movies, not on if they're a family movie, not. And because of that, Singing in the Rain, I love. I think it's great. It ended up at number 4 for me.
Ooh, number 4. So still pretty high. So, but Brian, what do you say about Singing in the Rain?
Yeah, I agree with Malcolm. Like for me, right, I saw this come out and says family movie Singing in the Rain. I think it's more musical, but yeah, I do enjoy Singing in the Rain. Love the visual elements, make them laugh. The Singing in the Rain sequence, Good Morning. I have it for me at number 50 for me.
Okay,
because I have other films I like more who rank higher.
Yeah, so with that, it'll still be the highest ranked movie so far. It'll be number 10 is where it's gonna end up. So I don't think we have anything at 10 yet. So there you go. Singing in the Rain, number 10. So we'll see what 9 movies go above it. But but we're moving on to Coco. So I'm curious where this is going to go, but we'll go to Dylan. What do you say about Coco, and where do you have it ranked?
Yeah, you're getting a lot of the heavy hitters out of the way from me first, because this is my number 3. I think,
Ooh,
I didn't put it on my personal list just because I was trying to be a little bit more variant with like my Pixar's. Because truthfully, if I had just ranked my top 25 favorite family films, like 12 of them would have been Pixar. So I wanted to be a little bit more diverse. But I do think this is such a great movie, and I think one of the big things that this film and another film we'll talk about shortly does really well is talk about the concept of death in a way that is not like totally alienating for kids, which is really hard to do. And this film does it really successfully. It's a fun fantasy world. There's a lot of good color. I'm thinking like you could show your baby this movie and they'll love it because it's just so bright and colorful and whimsical. But you can also show any kid at any age to help understand this kind of concept of grief in a way that doesn't feel so final, doesn't feel so, cold and sinister. I really think it's just such a powerful movie in that sense. It's I think it's it's the third newest movie on this list, but I think just in the few years it's been out, I think it has really, really become a Pixar staple, and I think it's for good reason. So I don't love the second act as much as I love the first and third, but I think it ends so strong, gives you those tear jerking moments. So it's my number 3. I think this is awesome.
Yeah, sounds good. Chad, what do you say about Coco?
Yeah, I have Coco at number 8. I think
Okay.
Coco is, it's a masterpiece. It's brilliant. It's like one of the great Pixar movies. It's really got everything. I think it's like, cultural representation is fantastic. I love all the songs. I think like, so much of it is, you can learn a lot from it, especially if like you don't come from Mexican culture. You can learn a lot from it, and then I'm sure it hits even harder for someone of that culture too. And then just like what it says about death is universal, and thinking about your loved ones and stuff, and even gets like really, really deep when you have like people in the afterlife who they pass on from the afterlife, and it's like we don't know where they go, and that's just the big question of life. And so it just like really hits hard, not just for kids but for adults. And like Dylan said at the end with Remember Me, is just like if you're not in tears at that part,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, because it's just like you can't watch that part without crying. It's just it's incredible. And it's just a fun fun animation and everything as well too. So Coco's great.
Yeah. Sounds good. Malcolm, what do you say about Coco?
Yeah, out of the 5 Pixar movies we've got in this section, there's only 3 Pixar movies I've got higher than it. Like I do like Coco. I think it's a really good movie. But I've got it at number 16.
All right, number 16. Sounds good. Brian, what do you say about Coco?
Yeah, I agree with Malcolm. Pixar movies we have, I have 3 ranked higher, but for me, I have them ranked number 17. I do love the music, I love the animation style, but for me, I like 3 other Pixar movies higher.
Yeah. You said 16, is that what you said?
I have a 17.
Oh, 17, okay.
16 was Malcolm, I believe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, for me, I absolutely love Coco, and I was fighting between what I wanted my number 1 Pixar movie to be. But it'll be my number 2 Pixar movie on the list. But man, I relate to Coco so much, even though I'm not of like Hispanic descent. That like there's just so many things that can relate to all cultures. I feel like, and just a sense of like family and just like togetherness and like the like things of like death, but doing it kind of like Dylan said, like in a way that kids can kind of grasp and understand it more. And I used to work in the medical field, and I grew up taking care of my great grandma at the end of her life, and we were really close. So that scene at the end, just the Remember Me, just really hits home with me. And there's really great music all throughout, like the like Uno Poco Loco or like La Llorona, like all that stuff. It's just really good. Yeah. So they're just really good stuff. So this movie is like one of my favorite, like probably my top 5 Pixar movies. So I have it ranked at number 7 for me. So So with that, that'll put it at also number 10. So we got to make a decision here if it's going to go above or below Singing in the Rain, I think. So, but in my opinion, I would put it above it, but that's me.
I say higher on this one.
I would say lower.
Okay. Chad, what do you say?
Lower.
Okay. Malcolm.
Lower.
So yeah, it is going to go lower. So because we got more lower. So, but yeah. So number 11, not a bad spot for it. So yeah, still in the top half. So next up we have Christopher Robin. So we are going to go to Chad first. Where do you have Christopher Robin ranked, and what do you say about it?
So this one, I don't know what the common conception of this film is. And honestly, I wish I could have gotten a good rewatch in of it, because I just remember it from the theaters. And I remember kind of being disappointed by it a little bit, because I was really psyched for it. I was like, I don't have like that big of a connection to Winnie the Pooh. And I've since gotten a better connection to it, doing like a whole Disney ranking and stuff like that. So on rewatch, maybe it could get a little better, but I feel like there's so many movies on this list that I don't even know how much higher it would go for me. So I actually have this at 24.
Oh, 24. All right. Remember though, just because people have it ranked low, it doesn't really like mean a whole lot, because these are all like pretty great movies almost all the way around. So, but Malcolm, what do you say about Christopher Robin?
But yeah, I love Christopher Robin. I think it's great. I'm a big Winnie the Pooh fan. Like, the amount of times I watched the original animated movie is a crazy amount. Like, I've watched it many times, and so when I heard they were doing like this live action sequel of sorts, like I did go into this sort of with low expectations, just because like I know that a lot of these live action movies have not not been like received that well, but I really enjoyed it, and I think Ewan McGregor as a grown up Chris Robin, I think it was great, and just seeing like these like what these characters will look like as a toy form, it gave and I think it's great. I know Jordan's probably going to bring up about beers wrecking stuff.
Maybe.
But yeah, but for me, Christopher Robin is at number 5.
Yeah, number 5 sounds good. Brian, what do you say about Christopher Robin?
Yeah, for me, I really did enjoy Christopher Robin when it came out. I had it ranked number 8 for me. I do enjoy like the hook elements, or get a little bit hook elements, like how he lived his childhood and seeing Pooh again, and also love seeing Jim Cummings come back as Pooh and Tigger perfectly. You get a patented actor there, Simon Farabee, who played the judge in the patented movies into this one, and you get the late great Richard Sherman played the piano at the end, so I have a number 8.
Oh yeah. See, I knew it when I saw that end credit scene, because I watched it for the first time for this, and when I saw him, I'm like, that guy looks so familiar. It's got to be like some famous Disney composer or something. So yeah, but yeah. So I watched it for the first time, and I was a little worried, because when I first started watching it, it's giving me Paddington vibes, and I'm not a Paddington fan, so I'm like, oh, it's just gonna be a Bear that wrecks stuff and everything, and I just like wasn't like too thrilled by it, but there's a lot more to it than that, though. Like, that's just a little small part of this movie, and like I actually loved it. I thought that it was great, and just bringing the whole entire gang, and then just Ewan McGregor's Christopher Robin having to find his imagination again, and like the end is just very heartwarming, and when I posted on social media that I was watching it, one of my friends, Carl at Sherlock, he just says, "What a lovely film," and that's like a perfect way to describe it. Like, what a lovely film it just is, And yeah, it's just really, really great, because as a kid, I grew up watching Winnie the Pooh all the time. Once I kind of hit hit my late teens, I kind of grew out of it and didn't really watch Winnie the Pooh anymore. But I still have a lot of nostalgia for those characters. They're just really cool. Even when I go to like the Disney parks, I love to see those characters and everything. So even the Winnie the Pooh ride, like I even still enjoy that as an adult. So yeah, I have it at number 16 for me. So kind of just barely in the lower half, but not too much, like upper of the lower half. So yeah, but Dylan, what do you say about Christopher Robin?
Yeah, like Malcolm, I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh stan. I grew up; he was one of my best friends. You know, I loved that whole series of movies and TV series. There were so many, a plethora of Heffalumps and Woozles galore.
Yeah.
And my favorite subgenre is the human and animated bear subgenre. You know, Ted is the father, Winnie the Pooh is the son, and Paddington is the Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
I
right.
love I love that whole genre of bear and human and cuddly little friend. But I will say I love the animated movies so much that I honestly think this one was never going to live up to those, in my opinion. And I do think that first half hour is so grim and dark and depressing and sad and dour that it makes it almost like I don't know if I want to expose my kids to that, because the last hour is so fun and fanciful once the Pooh characters come into it, but it really does. It's very dreary and very sad and very somber for so long, which I was not necessarily expecting from a Pooh movie. So I do appreciate it for that, but also I think just thinking of like family films and thinking of it in the context of all the other Winnie the Pooh stuff I've watched, it's not my favorite of those, but I do think it's solid, especially for Disney remakes and like Disney live action interpretations. This is far and above top tier, because there are so many bad ones. But this is like in the top third of those. But for my list here, I put it at number 20. It's not in the bottom 5, but I'm not as passionate about it as I am the rest of the Winnie the Pooh 100 Acre Wood universe.
Yeah, sounds good. One of the things that I really like what he keeps saying, I am a bear of very little brain. I'm like, come on, like you're smarter than that. Come on, but maybe he is. I don't know. But
If I
so you're just giving them therapy the whole movie, Jordan. That's probably why you like
I will
it.
also, I'll say one last thing. Also,
kind of,
Brian,
yeah.
Simon Farnaby, the actor you point out, is also the
Yes.
co-writer of Paddington 2. So he's not just the actor; he's also a co-writer. So he's a massive deal in my life. So I love him.
He's
Thank you for
also
shouting him
Wonka
out.
as well. Sorry for
Yes,
me. So
yes.
worked
Thank you for
a
shouting
lot.
him out, Brian, because he deserves
No
it.
problem.
Yeah. But Chad, what do you say about
You
Christopher
went first.
Robin?
Already said it.
Oh
I
yeah,
started.
yeah. You want? That's right. Because I was gonna say the numbers are getting a little high, so it'll be 14.6, which is going to bring it to a 15, which I think we have something at 15. Yep. So we have to decide if it's going to go up to 14 or down to 18. So for me, I kind of vote down, but that's just me. But we'll see what you guys say. Dylan, what do you say?
Between 14 and 18, I would go 18 here.
Yeah. Chad, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm also at 18.
Okay. Malcolm, what do you say?
Up.
Up. Okay. And Brian, what do you say?
All the other two Jordans up.
Well, with that, it's going to go to number 18. So,
Wow.
So yeah, with my vote, Dylan and Chad. So yeah. But up next we have Wally. So we'll see what
Oh
you guys think
boy.
about Wally. So we'll go to Malcolm first. What do you have to say about Wally?
This is going to be interesting to see where it goes, because there's only one of movies on this list I didn't get around to seeing. But so yeah, I think Wally is just fine. It's nothing spectacular. I think it's good. I'll watch it again if I'm doing a Pixar rewatch, but it's going to be something I go out the way to sort of put on because I need to watch it for something and that. So yeah, this is at my lowest spot, which is 24.
24. All right. We'll see what everyone else says. Brian, what do you say about Wally?
Overrated. Overrated. K5 for me. I do not care about Wally. It's boring AF.
25, you said, Brian?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man.
I do not care about Wally.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm right there with you. I do not like Wally. So we're on the Wally hate train tonight, I guess, because because like Wally for me, it's just yeah, it's very overrated, very boring. Like for half the movie, he doesn't even talk, and then when you get to the human characters, they're just these fat humans, just floating around in these little hover things, and it's like I hope that's not what becomes of humanity, but and like I just didn't really connect even with like they're supposed to be a love story, but they're just robots, and I'm just kind of like it just doesn't really do much for me, and it is kind of visually stunning to look at, but I mean so is almost every Pixar movie, so yeah, I have it at my lowest as well, 25. So Dylan, what do you say?
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, so I'm not going to be mad at you guys. I'm just thinking of like, I'm thinking of another movie that's going higher on all these lists that I can't fathom. But okay, I was expecting to come on here and be that contrarian who said I love Wally, but now I feel like I am boosting Wally because I had it at 14, which I think is low, only because when I was thinking of family films, this is a film I didn't like as a kid because I as a kid thought it was a little boring. It was a little slow. It is probably one of Pixar's more adult films in terms of the concepts and the theories and the themes, which is why I put it a little lower because as a kid, I didn't like this movie, but I like it a lot more as an adult. But I'm shocked because I know this is like one of the heralded as one of the greatest animated movies of all time. So I'm just surprised. But I have it at 14. I almost kind of want to. My list is locked and loaded, so I'm not going to change it. But I almost kind of wish I put it higher just to give it its due because it is so good. It's just when thinking about it as a family film, I was like, it's not quite as fun for the whole family because I didn't love it as a kid. But I'm shocked that everyone hates Wally so much. I like Wally a lot. I'm not at the love it tier yet, but I really like it. So I'm just surprised. But I'll let Chad champion it as the favorite, as everyone's biggest Wally cheerleader, at least here.
Yeah,
because I like it, but I know he likes it even more. So I'm shocked.
Well, Chad, we'll see if you can bring it a little higher. What do you say about Wally?
Well, yeah, I'm shocked as well. I did not. I thought like some people might go, yeah, like I love the first half, but I don't really like the second half, or vice versa. With some people who are like, I can't like things unless colors are coming at me really fast and someone's talking. And then it's like, well, okay, and then they're like, well, maybe I like the second half more or something like that. But I've never really heard like. I don't like that movie at all, just because I think it has everything. But that was like one of my favorite things, though, is like you guys just trashing on it hard, and then Dylan going like,
I thought I was gonna get murdered for putting it low. I thought 14 was low, and people are gonna be like, Dylan, how dare you put it at 14? I feel great.
No, not
now.
this panel.
Woo!
But no. Sorry if I'm coming off a little hot. It's just with all the hot takes, I'm crushed. But I will say, yeah, why I love it is I think it's everything you guys don't like is why I love it. It's just like it's so slow paced when it needs to be to really see the isolation of Wally at the first part. And then, when he gets to, fly to the or gets to tag on to the spacecraft and all of that stuff in space, I think is just really beautiful and just amazing to look at. And then when they're in the ship, it kind of becomes like an action movie with, I think a really great villain with the ship itself is kind of a really cool villain, kind of like a 2001: A Space Odyssey kind of thing. And then, I just, that love story just, I really, attached to. And, when you think Wally, who is the champion of getting that boot with the plant, he's like, this is so important. This is more important than me. And when everybody took it for granted, and then now they're just stuck on a spaceship. And then you think he's gonna die, and then he comes back, and you're just like, oh my god, everything is beautiful now. And so I don't know, I love this one. I didn't realize it would be as hated in this panel because I mean it is the only Pixar movie with a Criterion, so maybe it is overrated. Sure. But a lot of people love it. So I am gonna make a change. I'm gonna put this at number 1 because fuck it.
All right, sounds good. That'll be your number 1. So bumps out.
It was originally at number 5, so it's not like I was at 14 and I'm skyrocketing it.
Sure,
I just swapped it with another Pixar movie I had.
Well, I mean, with that. What?
I was about to say, for the record, I don't hate it. I think it's just fine. It's 3 out of 5 stars for me. So it's fine.
It's not
That's
the worst
fair.
movie ever made to me, but it's like pretty low. Even for this entire family series, it's gonna be one of my lowest, probably. So, but with that, it'll put it to 20.6, which we do round up, so it'll be at number 21 where it's gonna land. So with the number one vote, not dead last. So.
Wait, Jordan,
So
how
that's
did you?
good.
Jordan, what was your final number? I have a 17.8.
I have at 20.6, but let me get everyone's vote one more time because I know Malcolm had 24,
I had
Brian had
25.
25, I had 25, you
I
had
have 14.
14, and then Chad had 1. Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, that's my bad. 17.8. So it is a little higher, which it'll be 18.
Lower.
With
Lower.
with us rounding up. So it can either go up to 14 or it can go down to 19. And I
mean,
think just based
19. Everybody will say 19.
yeah,
Put it
yeah, just
I would have
based
gone
on the
14
consensus, I think it's going to go
between the
there.
two.
Yeah, I think
I
it'll.
I
would
just
of
wanted to
course
make
have
sure
said
it was
14,
getting
but
at least some of its
Oh
due,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Brian's
sure.
not the only fact checker around here.
Right. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. I've got my
I-
whole chart. I'm ready.
I'm totally going to get you guys fact checking me. Definitely do that if I get it wrong.
Yeah.
But
I'm also a stats.
yeah.
I'm a stats nerd, so I just have everyone's lists go.
Oh yeah. But next up we have Marcel the Shell with shoes on. So we'll go to Brian. You'll be first for Marcel the Shell. What do you say?
Yeah, this is a little blind spot for me, but I've never seen the trailer for. I do enjoy it, but even though I haven't seen it, I'll have a trade for
24. Okay. 24. And then we'll go to me. I gotta double check my list and see where I have it. Okay, yeah. And so I remember for the year that it came out, was it 2022 when it came out, I think. But yeah, I remember really loving it and really championing it. Like the movie's really, really good for that year. But overall, I think that it's kind of like a mid as far as this whole series goes for me. But I think that's a really cute character and they're really doing something really different and unique. So I'm glad that it got nominated at least. And yeah, it is a fun movie. And I forget the name of the girl who does the voice of Marcel.
Jenny Slate.
Yeah, Jenny Slate. This is like a perfect thing for her to do. I feel like she has a very unique voice, and it's like she's maybe like made for doing voice work, possibly. But yeah, I don't have it ranked super high. I have it ranked at number 20, just because of the sheer amount of movies that are really great on this list. So yeah, it's number 20 for me. But Dylan, what do you say about Marcel the Shell?
Yeah, part of the reason why I am writing everyone's stuff down is so I can see that Brian, who has seen Wally, put it lower than a movie he hasn't even seen. Just so I can use that as use that against him in future reference. No, I'm just kidding. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Yeah, I love Marcel the Shell with shoes on. This is the most recent film on this list, but I think just in terms of its uniqueness and its style and the way it tells its story, it's soft, it's delicate, it's quaint, it's cute, it's beautiful, it's soulful. It's got everything in it in such a tight little package. It's like a big things come in small packages. It epitomizes that sentiment. I not grew up, but like middle school to high school, I loved watching all the short films that Jenny Slate was doing as Marcel. And when they announced they were doing a full length feature film, I was like, this is crazy. Like, I'm excited, but how are they going to make a feature length film? And they actually made a great cohesive narrative story that, again, like I was talking about with Coco, the other film on this list that I think tackles death really, really well is this film. The way that it's able to have this conversation about death in a way that kids can understand it and that doesn't feel dark and sinister and scary for kids. Like it approaches death in a very naturalistic way, in a very comfortable and comforting way, which I think is really, really genius and why I think it's going to age particularly well, because I think we need films about death for kids that aren't dark, that don't leave nightmares, no one wants to go to bed thinking about Mufasa and the Lion King when you have a movie like this, which is a little bit more delicate in its approach to talking about death, like Coco. But I did put it slightly lower than Coco because I like Coco more. So I put this at 7 on my overall list, number 7.
Okay, number 7. And then Chad, what do you say about Marcel?
I had this a little bit lower, and then I moved it up when Dylan was talking because I was just thinking it over and I was like, because I like made my list in a special kind of way that Dylan helped me with. We didn't, he didn't tell me how to rank it, but it's kind of a sorting kind of thing that I did.
Sure,
And
yeah.
Marcel ended up at number 20, but I moved it up to
Okay.
number 15.
Okay, so 15.
Because yeah, I do think it is kind of a special film. But I didn't grow up with the character that much. Yet when I saw it in the theater, I remember it like being kind of having everything. Like it was funny, but it was also sad. And I think it's just like, for like a family, I think, everyone can get like a little bit. It's kind of like Coco, where everyone can get a little bit of everything from it. And it's also like extremely unique to where it's an animated movie, but it's also not an animated movie. So it like rides both of those
Yeah.
lines. So it's really cool in that way. So yeah, so I'll put it at 15.
Yeah, sounds good. Malcolm, what do you say about Marcel the show?
Yeah, I think Marcel Shell for apparently has shoes on. But,
Yeah.
I,
That's the
I think
alternate title of it. Yeah.
I think it's a good movie. Look, my hot take is nothing to do about the movie, but I just don't think it should have qualified for best animated features, considering it is just the character that's animated, like all the surroundings, and that is live action. It's still mostly a live action movie for animated character. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. The Oscars qualified it. I can't argue that. But I don't think it should have qualified, to be fair. But I think it's a good movie. I do like it. Yeah, it's number 15 for me.
Or 15. All right. So that's going to put it at 16.2. So it'll be at number 16, which I think we have something there.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
So now we have to decide if it's going to go up to 14 or down to 20. And for me, I'd say I would move it down. That's just me.
I
but
say down
but
as well.
but at the same time, I wouldn't put it below Wally either. But
Oh, you're right.
it is what it is. I'll still say down. But
I'll say up.
Okay, up. Chad, what do you say?
Okay, the Wally blasphemy is getting to me, but I'll say down to 20.
Okay. Malcolm, what do you say?
It's better than Wally. Up.
Up. So we still have 3
It's
down.
definitely not better than Wally.
So yeah, it'll be below Wally at 20. So
Well, not definitely, but in my opinion.
Yeah. All right.
According to us,
Well, up next we have the lone Harry Potter movie on this list, which is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. So, and it'll be me first, which is appropriate because I'm the one that put it on the list. Because I do consider some young adult movies fun for the whole family. So even though it does get very dark and like, well, I just feel like though I just gravitate toward these movies so much more when I was younger, but I still just love them to pieces though. And why I have the Goblet of Fire on here is because it's my favorite book, and the book's so massive. It's one of the longest books in it, so it's just hard to fit everything in there. Like it's just to cram it all into 2 hours. But yeah, I think that the movie, they do something very unique where they're doing the Triwizard Tournament. They have less Quidditch. They're fighting dragons, and it does get pretty dark with the spoiler alert, but the death of Cedric Diggory. But I mean, yeah, but we still have a lot of fun with it. So that's for sure. One of my favorite Harry Potter movies, and I have it ranked very high. I have it ranked at number 2 on my list. So
wow.
So yeah, but Dylan, what do you say about Goblet of Fire?
Yeah, I know for a lot of like book purists, this is not their favorite adaptation, but I think as a movie, it's pretty solid on its own. My only thing is like, I think of all the Harry Potter movies, like they get darker as they go, and this ending is so dark that like I don't know if I'd want to sit in front of the TV with my whole family and watch it at the same comfort level as I would the first two films in the franchise. That's why when going through the franchises in specific, I didn't consider some of the darker entries because I was thinking of the family nature of it. So I think if I were to just rank these in quality, it would rank higher. But because I was thinking of the family of it all, I went 21 for this. I like it, but I do think it's just so dark, especially that last act is terrifying. Not just the death, but the frightening image of Voldemort. I couldn't rightfully put it higher just on a family list for me. But again, I know everyone's doing rankings different ways. Like Malcolm said, he's just ranking them as he likes them. I'm ranking them with a little bit of that idea of family in mind. So I'm going to go with 21, but I do like the movie a lot.
All right. 21. But yeah, I don't really have any kids, so I'm going to be the fun uncle to all my nieces and nephews and like have them do things that they might be a little too young for. Like, let's come over and play some video game. You want to play Call of Duty or something? And they're like, whoa, that's a little like maybe like
Or show them Big Massive.
Yeah, I showed all my younger siblings because I'm also the oldest of five kids. I showed them Billy Madison when they were like 3 and 4 years old, and like all the Adam Sandler movies. It's a little young for them to be watching it, but I did it. so yeah. But we'll go to Chad. What do you say about Goblet of Fire?
Yeah, so I mean, this is interesting. Like, a lot of people know me as the Harry Potter person, but if anybody's like talked to me, Goblet of Fire is my lowest ranked Harry Potter movie,
Ooh.
because I'm actually kind of like on a similar wavelength to Jordan though, because Goblet of Fire is my favorite book, but it's precisely that is why it is my lowest ranked Harry Potter movie because kind of like Dylan was saying, like I know a lot of people like the kind of cutting away from the book that because it is such a long book. They had to trim some stuff, so I'm fine with them trimming like SPEW and things like that. I do think some of that could have been really cut out, which it was. But there's a lot of the mystery from the book that they get rid of that I just really don't appreciate, because if you like just reading through that book again to my son just recently, I'm like, man, if Mike Newell hadn't been the director of this, it could have been like actually really, really, really cool with, how they do the mystery in the book. So it just kind of irks me, even though it's still incredibly well directed. There's a lot of really they nail that in scene, but because they nail that in scene, the one where the magic Nazis come back to power,
yeah.
I wouldn't say this is a fun for the whole family movie. Parts of it, maybe, yes. But
Parts of
yeah,
it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would maybe only rank or categorize the first two Harry Potter movies as fun for the whole family. Even those have a little bit of dark elements, but not too dark. I think this one goes a little too dark for that, for me, to classify it as that. So it was a little bit of, I don't love it as an adaptation. I don't think it's that family. I have it at 14. But
Okay.
it's at 14 because it's a Harry Potter movie. So I couldn't rank it that low, but I couldn't rank it that high either. It's a very hard ranking for me.
Well, it's higher than I thought you were going to have it, so that's good.
Yes,
yeah. But Malcolm, what do you say?
I'm pretty sure that Fun for the Whole Family graphic originated from when you and Brian did your tournament fights on,
Yes, you did.
on the
Yeah.
Versus Family, and you had all these young adult
And the
adaptations.
poor
Yeah.
boy as well, he had.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, they got to go somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, look, it's one of those ones like I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I love the movies and that, and it's one of those ones like I honestly don't care too much about the changes either, because like I think they did the best decision possible to just have the movie focused on Harry's journey. If it was on me, I would have this is where I would have started making them like 2 movies. But that's just me. But I don't consider any of the Harry Potter movies family, and look, and on my personal list, like, because when I filtered family on my personal list, on Letterboxd, like none of the Harry Potter movies came up. Otherwise, I probably would have had Prisoner of Azkaban on it. So,
Yeah.
but I do like it, Goblet of Fire, and I think it's good. It did end up at number 11 for me. So
Number 11. All right. Well, Brian, what do you say about Goblet of Fire?
Yeah, it might be the lowest on this one. I have a number 19 for me, based on what the other panels says. I don't think this is family friendly because I ranked these based on family friendly films, so I have it ranked number 19.
Yeah, that's fair. So with that, it'll be 13.4, and I don't know if we have something that
I don't think we've got anything. Oh no,
Oh, we do have one. So do they going to go up to 12 or down to 14? I would have voted up, but I don't know. Maybe not the rest of you guys. But
14, personally.
Yeah.
I would go down as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I would go down.
Okay, yeah, we'll go down. We'll go to 14. That's fair. It's not too far down, so I'm not too worried. But
Hey, it's higher than Wally. There you go.
It's higher than Wally. Exactly. That's all that matters. But what's what matters most, actually. But we'll go to Monsters Inc. next. So we are back around to Dylan. So where do you have Monsters Inc. ranked, and what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, we talked about my number 1, Singing in the Rain. My number 3, Coco. Let's make it a monster sandwich. We'll put it at number 2. I love this movie. I just rewatched it for my Halloween binge. This one is my number 3 overall all-time Pixar movie. There's only 2 higher, and none of them are on this list. Maybe they'll appear other lists. It will, because I put them on the list. But of all the Pixars in this crop of 25, this one's my favorite. I think it just hits all the beats perfectly. Comedy, action, drama, suspense, heartwarming, cuddly, tear-jerking vibes, but also being fun for the whole family. Put up that graphic. But yeah, I think it's such a great film. Just great characters, a world you just want to live in for days and days and days and days. Which is why I, as a kid, watched this for days and days and days and days. This one never stopped. It ended and I started it over. It's one of those movies that I never got tired of, never get tired of. And it's the first movie I remember seeing in theaters. My parents tell me I saw the Tigger movie when I was a year old, but this is the first movie I distinctly remember seeing. So for that, all those sentimental reasons, I put this at number 2. And because it's great. Like, I love it. So
yeah. Well, the first movie you remember seeing is about monsters. Nice. But I'm also excited that we're gonna get a Monsters Inc. roller coaster at Disney World.
Monsters Inc. land as well.
Oh, maybe it's a whole land, but I know they're gonna have the hanging door ride as a hanging roller coaster. Yeah. So that'll be awesome. But we'll go to Chad. What do you say about Monsters Inc.?
Yeah, I also think Monsters Inc. is great. It's one of my early ones in like the theaters, kind of a deal, and I just think it's phenomenal. I have a number 7.
Okay.
I love the buddy relationship. I love, I think Boo is adorable. Randall is freaking terrifying, but not too terrifying so that kids can't watch it. It's like the perfect Pixar family movie, and it gets really, really deep. I love actually the main villain, because it's not Randall's not the main villain. It's the other guy.
Yeah.
And then, that ending I think is just so perfect. I love how she calls him a kitty. I think is really, really funny. So and cute.
Kitty. Yeah.
This movie slaps. Number 7.
Yeah. Number 7. Malcolm, what do you say about Monsters Inc.?
Yeah, I love Monsters Inc. I think it's great. And yeah, it ended up at 14 for me.
Number 14. All right. Brian, what do you say about Monsters Inc.?
I have it ranked number 5 for me. It's my favorite of the Pixar on this list. I love the chemistry with Michael Sully. I love the bloopers at the end credits. Pixar bring back bloopers for their movies. And put that thing back where it came from also helped me. Monsters Inc. at number 5.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm kind of on the same wavelength as Malcolm. I have it ranked at number 14. But it is really, really good. Like there's one I need to go back to. I need to rewatch more because I don't really watch it quite enough. And I think maybe if I would have seen it more, I probably have it ranked higher. I've seen it probably like 6 or 7 times, something like that. But it's one of my favorite levels to play in Kingdom Hearts 3. You get in this kind of like like sort of jungle gym maze thing where you have Randall chasing after you. You have to try to make it out of this little maze thing, which is cool. And all the characters that you have like they become kind of monster-fied in there, so they look like half human, half monster, or like half like Goofy and Donald are both half monster, all that stuff. So it's fun. But yeah, so number 14 for me. Let me add that up. So I think that might be one of the highest ones. I have it at 8.4. So that means it's gonna go up pretty high. Let's see. I think it could. Is it the highest? Yes, the highest one so far. So be number 8. So there you go.
What would
Monster
have
Inc.
nothing if it didn't have you? Monster Inc.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Exactly. So we are on to The Incredibles. Be up next, and we'll go to Chad first. What do you say about The Incredibles?
Oh shit! I think I exited out of my list. Hold on 1 second.
Oh dang.
This one is actually a bit of a hot take. This might be my Wally. I definitely don't have it ranked the lowest, but it is my lowest ranked Pixar of the list. I have this at number 18.
Okay.
That's where you have
I don't know,
Rider.
man. It's like odd because I know there's like so many people that Did you say something, Dylan?
Yeah, that's where I have you written down as Whale Rider in 18.
Maybe he
Oh
switched some things up.
shit! I did swap a couple things. Fuck. Oh no! I messed up my whole thing. I have it at number. Do I have anything at 19 then?
No.
All right, put it at
Okay.
19.
Yeah. Okay. 19. Okay, that's fair.
I'll just pivot a little
fine.
bit here and there.
Yeah.
But
No worries.
but yeah, The Incredibles. I know like just so many people love it because it's like it was like the best version of Fantastic Four that came out. It is a really cool superhero movie, and this was like before the MCU, so this was like one of the coolest things ever, to come out in Pixar, and they just really nailed it. But I don't know. I feel like this just doesn't go very deep for me. It's like a Pixar. It doesn't like hit me emotionally really. It's just like a really cool superhero movie. So, and I sound really negative. I think it is a good movie, like a really, really good one. I think the animation's incredible. I love like all the superpowers they have and how they utilize them. And I think Buddy is a really crazy villain. He's really cool. And yeah, it's just a really, really cool movie. But I don't love it like that. So I have a 19.
Give me a Jordan.
Oh, okay.
I thought my sound.
Oh,
went out.
sorry.
Muted.
Yeah, you're good.
Sorry, I was muted for a second. But yeah. So yeah, 19. Not as terrible as I thought. Maybe you might go. But Malcolm, what do you say about The Incredibles?
I feel like mine and Chad Pixar rankings are going to be almost pretty much reversed because The Incredibles is in my top 10 Pixar movies. There were at one point it was my number one Pixar movie until very recently, but when Inside Out 2 took that spot. But I love The Incredibles. On this list, I have ended up at number 7 for me.
Ooh, okay. Number 7 sounds good. Brian, what do you say about The Incredibles?
I haven't run so hard at Malcolm. I have a number 6 for me. I love the voice cast. Brad Bird's perfect as the mode. Jason Lee's a great villain with a great backstory. The score is fantastic. The Incredibles theme is great. Number 6 for me. All
right. Yeah. So I also have it fairly high. It's my third Pixar movie on this list, but yeah, I'm a big superhero guy. I kind of like base a lot of the channel around some superhero type stuff, and and I love the whole cast all the way around, especially Mrs. Incredible, Holly Hunter, or Elastigirl, or like Helen, whatever you want to call her. She's really good. And then just seeing all the different powers that the kids have. Yeah, very reminiscent of Fantastic Four. Yeah, it's still the best Fantastic Four movie that we've ever had. I don't know if anything's ever going to top it, but and then also Sam Jackson as Frozone is just so good. Like, where's my super suit is like a big one people quote, and yeah, and then it has a great villain with Syndrome from Jason Lee. So yeah, I have it ranked at number 9 for me. So, but Dylan, what do you say about Incredibles?
Yeah, I really like this one. I'm, as I said, a Pixar guy, so none of the Pixar movies are going to rank low for me. I love it. I think it's just a solid superhero movie, especially because I think a lot of people now associate Marvel as like a family friendly thing, but some of the darker Marvel things get really dark. And I think if you're looking for like young kids getting into superhero movies, this is the perfect entryway, the perfect gateway drug in that sense. So this was my favorite superhero movie. Well, I guess not, but like favorite kids superhero movie. But growing up, so I would put this very high. I put this right outside my top 5 at number 6. So
Okay.
this is my number 6.
Number 6. All right. So with that, it'll average out to 9.4 is where it's gonna average. So I can't remember if we have anything at 9. I don't think so.
I don't
But
think so.
yeah, so it might end up staying there. We'll see. Nope, there's nothing there. So it'll slot right in between Monsters Inc. and Singing in the Rain. So there we go. so yeah, we still got a bunch of slots though for these 1 through 7. We'll see. At least 7 movies are going to go higher. So, but we'll move on to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and it'll be Malcolm first for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. What do you just say about that?
Yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is one of those movies that I remember watching a couple times when I was younger, but I don't know how many times I actually did watch it. Once again, it's another one that I rewatched as soon as Disney Plus became a thing. But yeah, it's I remember liking it. And it ended up at number 9 for me.
Number 9, all right, sounds good. Brian, what do you say about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
I have it ranked at number 7 for me. I love Rick Moranis as Ray's this perfect casting, in my opinion, for family film.
Yeah,
I love the opening sequence, all animated opening sequence. I do enjoy Honey, I Shrunk the Kid more, but I have it ranked. But for me, Honey, I Shrunk the Kid is number 7.
yeah. So I grew up with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but once it became an adult, I've never gone back to it. Like since I turned 18, but as a teenager and as a kid, I watched the movie on repeat all the time. So it's one that I'm probably due for a rewatch. But I remember having a lot of fun just them trying to navigate the backyard, but they're shrunk down and I remember like the praying mantis or is it an ant? Something like that. It's like some kind of
It was
big
an
insect.
auntie.
Yeah, it's an ant. Yeah. But it's a fun time and yeah, that's still a big part of my childhood. So I don't have it as high. I have it number 18 for me. So, but Dylan, what do you say about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Jordan, that's exactly where I have it too. I have it at 18. This
Nice.
is one that I saw as a kid, couldn't remember a single thing of it, except for the ride at Disney World that like is etched in my brain.
3D show.
But which I wish they would bring back in some facet. But I rewatched it tonight, actually, right before this, since we had a little extra time. And I think it's great. I don't think it's in that top tier for me. It's like the best of my like last tier before I get into the movies I don't like. But I do think it's great. I think the set design, just the way it's imagined visually, is really impressive and really engaging and really fun. It feels like it's almost like a playground in film form, which I really like. So I just think the practical effects are great. Visual effects are holding up to this day. So yeah, I think it's solid. 18 is where I put it.
Yeah, which they used to have a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids playground at Disney World, but they
It was Toy Story
since
Land took over it. Toy Story Land took over it.
Yeah, Toy Story Land, yeah, which is fine. But Chad, what do you say about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
I kind of messed my whole thing up when I decided to start making changes to my list. I moved Marcel, and I think it was a good decision for the time. But now I kind of wish I hadn't, because I had that at 20. I had Honey, I Shrunk the Kids at 15, and now I have Honey, I Shrunk the Kids at number 20. I was going through, and I was like, "Is there any way to move it higher?" And I was like, I don't really think so. I think like there's so many good movies on the list that it being at number 20 also for me means that I really, really, really love Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It just I have a lot of nostalgia for it. I used to watch this a lot when I was a kid. And so yeah, it's just if I watched it again right now, it would hit the nostalgia pretty hard. So I wish it was a little bit higher on my list, but I'm glad some of you are ranking it higher on yours, so that mine doesn't like totally crush it.
Yeah.
Because I think it is a really really great fun movie. So
Yeah, sounds good. So with that, it'll average out to a 14.4, which I know we have something at 14. So this is where it gets fun. So
I say up.
he's going to move up to number 12. It's going to move all the way down to 21, which I wouldn't move it down that far. I'd say 12. That's me. But
I say 12.
what do y'all say?
I would say just because I know what's coming, I would probably put it lower. I also don't think it's as good as Wally or Marcel, so I'm gonna go lower at 21.
And you know what? I'll actually change mine to say lower because I did have it at 18 originally. So I'll say lower.
I was about to say the same thing as Dylan. There's so much great stuff ahead too.
Yeah.
That I would hate to fill up too many of the higher spots.
Well, what would you say, Malcolm? Would you put it
I'd go
higher or
up.
low? Up. Well, there's only 2 votes for up, so it'll go down to 21. Unfortunately, that's the luck of the draw. So definitely not worse than Wally to me, but hey, it is what it is. So, but up next we have the Karate Kid Part 2. So we did Part 1, now we got Part 2, and it'll be Brian first for the Karate Kid Part 2. What do you say?
Yeah, as I said before, I enjoy this one more than the Karate Kid. I have it ranked number 9 for me. I do love the whole downstate place in Okinawa, Mr. Miyagi's hometown. And I do enjoy the addition to the character of Chosen, who we'll see later on Cobra Kai. I have it ranked number 9.
Yeah. Let me see where I have it ranked, because I definitely have it ranked higher than the first one. I have it ranked pretty high. So I'm a massive fan of the Karate Kid movies. Yeah, and also for a lot of reasons that you said, Brian, just the Japan setting. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I haven't been able to yet. But I had a chance to go with my dad and 2 of my brothers right before COVID, but they kind of sprung it on me last minute where it's like, well, I don't have enough for a ticket. Sorry. Like if you would have given me like maybe more of a month in advance notice or something, but so they gotta go. But so it's still on my bucket list, and I took a couple years of about 3 years of Japanese in high school, so I barely know a little bit, but yeah, just like seeing like the Kumiko stuff, that's really good too. The Chosen, all that stuff in Japan is a lot of fun, and yeah, just how Mr. Miyagi relates to his hometown, all of that. So I think it's fun. So I have it ranked at number 4 actually. So, and would you have it ranked again, Brian? Would you say?
Look, I have it ranked at, let me go back to my list. I have it ranked number 9.
Okay, number 9. So, with a Dylan, what do you say about the Karate Kid Part 2?
Yeah, I watched this for this show, so I don't have any personal attachment to this movie outside of just literally 3 days or whatever since I first watched it. So I'm not as high on it. I think it's an interesting pivot for following up the first film, but I don't think it's like better than the first film or hits the same punch. Especially as a family film, I think it is a little bit more. It has a little bit more breathing room than the first film. It's not as action packed consistently. There's a lot of interesting character work, but I think as a family film, it makes it a little lesser for me. So I put this at 22. It looks like it's low on my list, like in terms of badness, but it's just because there's a lot of great films on this list. So it's 22 for me.
Yeah, sounds good. Chad, what do you say about Karate Kid Part 2?
Yeah, this one's interesting. Like, there's no Karate Kid film that I don't like. Even like the next Karate Kid, which is apparently panned. People don't like it, but I even like that one. And yeah, I like the show and stuff like that. The first movie is by and far the best masterpiece of the slate, I think. so I'll also always have that ranked higher. And I think the sequel is just one where it's like, well, we have this great film, people really love it. Let's cash in on that love and make another one, and we'll just have them go to Okinawa. There you go. That we have it written right
Nope.
there. I just don't really think
Nope.
it hits the same beats, and I feel like they're just really trying to. I don't know if the story needed to continue, is what I'm saying. But even though they did continue it, I feel like it is cool. I mean, I feel like the TV show had an even more interesting kind of twist. Like, well, what if Johnny's not the bad guy that you knew him to be, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, there's some really great stuff in the franchise, and the second one just doesn't really hit as much. Although I wasn't able to finish my rewatch, so I might have it a little higher, but I can't really when I do, but I can't really see it going like that high. So I have it at 23 currently.
We're 23. Okay. Malcolm, what do you say about Karate Kid Part 2?
Copy and paste my thoughts for the first one to this one. Like I saw Karate Kid 2 just fairly recently. I think I can't remember if I watched it directly after I watched the first one, if I watched it later. But once I've only ever seen it for the first time just recently, and I like it. It's good. But it's number 20 for me.
Ooh, number 20. All right. So with that, because we got some votes all over the place, it's going to be at 15.6, so it'll go up to a 16, which I know we have something there for sure.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be 22, I think.
Yeah, so it's either going to go down to 22 or it's going to go up to 12. I would say up. That's just because I have it at 4, but I'm probably in the minority.
Yeah, I don't think it's better than the first one, so I would go lower.
Yeah,
agree.
I would go lower based on what we have left on the list. There's some heavy hitters left, so
that's fair enough. So
yeah,
it'll go down.
Definitely not better than Wally.
That's debatable. I don't know, but next we have one of the short films on our list. We have The Red Balloon, or I don't know how you say it in French. I don't want to botch
it. Ballon Rouge.
Yeah, the Balloon Rouge. Yeah, but yeah, and it's me first, and I watched this for the first time, and the movie's really charming. Yeah, the movie really focuses just on the balloon. I mean, sort of the relationship with the kid and the balloon, but the balloon just kind of, you follow it and it goes rogue and it goes all over the place, and it's just kind of like a really cool idea, almost like I feel like they could make a Pixar short out of this, almost kind of thing. So it would actually work. The only thing is though, like I'm just so new to it, and the fact that it is only a short as compared to all the full length ones, I just like just haven't had enough time for it to really sit, so I have it at my number 24. Sorry, but Dylan, what do you say? I know it's on your list, so what do you say?
Yeah, I put this on my list because I just wanted to kind of have a little bit more variety in the films we talk about, not just in terms of short film versus feature, but also it's a French film, also it's a 50s film, so it just kind of feels like its own unique thing in comparison to a lot of things. But I think you hit the nail on the head. It feels like it has a spirit of like a Pixar short. It's a little bit fantastical. It's very whimsical, but it's still based in like our familiarity in terms of its surroundings. Every film class I took in college, this was part of the syllabus for everyone. It fit every criteria. We just ended up watching it because it's also short, so it's easy to teach. But yeah, I think it's charming, as you said. Didn't crack my top 10, but it's right outside at 11. I'm glad I brought it here to let us talk about it. But I don't think it's a top 10 for me, but I'm excited to see where it averages out, because it looks like everything's kind of averaging out somewhere in the middle, and then we're kind of branching out from the middle.
Yeah, so, right.
We're gonna have to get really picky and choosy because we still have all top 7 options left. So
right, exactly.
11
so, yeah. Well, Chad, what do you say about the Red Balloon?
This one I put at number. Let me make sure. I'm looking at the list Dylan sent me.
I wrote out his list so he knew what was taken.
Okay, nice.
I have this at number 16.
Okay.
It was a first watch for me. It's kind of funny because Dylan and I are big fans of the critically acclaimed podcast. I remember they mentioned it, and so I
Mm.
had like kind of like always wanted to watch it, and then I was looking up family movies, and I was like, oh, the Red Balloon, okay, and it's really short. I'll put that on and watch it with my son, and see if he'll get into it. And he kind of watches like really anything, but I feel like some things will make him bored and easily just want to go play or whatever. But this, I feel like, was, especially when he was in his high chair, was able to like really focus and like kind of watch it and enjoy the colorful balloons. And at the end, you get all the colorful balloons kind of doing a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 tribute to the dead red balloon,
Yeah.
which you get to see kind of like the whole life of the red balloon. Maybe not when he's like first blown up or something like that, but maybe that would have made it a little bit deeper. I don't know, but I do like how they were able to tell this whole story of this balloon, in such a short time, and kind of make you feel stuff about the balloon. And
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of cool. And it's like pretty much, there's a couple lines of dialogue, but it's mostly just visual storytelling, which I think is pretty incredible. But yeah, Dylan messaged me and was like, "Hey, did Jordan tell you what my list was?" And I was like, "No," because I had no idea he put it on. And I thought that
It's
was
so niche.
Yeah.
That's why I was so happy to see him watching it. I was like, there must be a reason, but yeah, it's because
Yeah.
it's listed as a family film and it's one of the best
Yeah.
renowned ones. So yeah, I'm glad you checked it out.
And I think it's like one of those where I don't think, because normally you might think that you know something being a short film might be like a knock on it, but I honestly think it's not really a knock here, because I think if you had it go on for like another hour to make it like a full like 90-minute movie, like it's going to be really boring if you do that. It's just like you didn't
Yeah.
have that much story to tell. So to me, I think it's kind of a film. And then even though I normally don't say like 30-minute short films are like a film, but I think here it just tells a complete story of this balloon. So you have it at 16, and I really like it. It could go
Okay.
even higher later.
All right. Sounds good. And yeah, Malcolm, what do you say about the red balloon?
Look, if Fly can be a full-length movie, I'm sure they'll find a way to make the Red Balloon a full-length movie.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Look, I think I probably would have appreciated Wally more if it was a Pixar short.
Same.
But I think it's perfectly fine as a full-length movie. Anyway, this is not about Wally. I'm just going to abstain. I haven't seen the Red Balloon. I didn't have time to watch it.
Okay. With that, let me make sure that I have this right.
I vote yet.
So it's
Oh,
your
yeah,
25,
okay.
Malcolm, technically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
technically.
So Brian, what do you say?
Yeah, it's way better than Wally for me. I watched it today. I do enjoy the comedy aspect where Blue keeps following the boy around, and I haven't went to try it for me.
We're 20. All right. So I'm just gonna average it out of 4, so that'll be 17.75 is what I have. So that'll be up to 18, but it's still we're gonna have to move either up or down. So it's either gonna move all the way up to 12 or it's gonna move down to 23. My vote just goes. Yeah, I say 23 just because it's a short film, and I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it's like on the level of some of these other ones to me. But what do you guys say?
I would go higher only because I think there are 3 films that could be in those bottom 3 spots. I don't know. I would say lower, probably, or higher. Sorry, higher. I would say it belongs in that 12 spot for me because it was my 11.
Well, Chad, what do you say?
Yeah, it's just so new to me. I'll say 23. Unfortunately.
Yeah. And Malcolm, what do you say?
I mean, it wouldn't.
He has seen it, so he abstained. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. It
wouldn't have mattered. I was about to say it wouldn't have mattered. It's going to go to 23.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. What is? Oh, wait. So even if I change, it doesn't matter.
I mean, then it makes it kind of tied, but
I think
that,
because Malcolm hasn't seen it, I think it's okay to put it lower and save
yeah,
those top
Okay.
spots for something. Yeah,
I think
I
so.
I
mean,
was
yeah.
just looking at like some of the ones I have ranked lower, and I was like, wait, we're good.
Yeah, yep. But up next we have Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl. So the first one, and I believe that it's me first. Is it that we're at?
No, you went first for Red Balloon, so
Dylan.
still.
Oh, you're right.
Dylan.
Yeah. So it'll be Dylan. Okay.
Yeah, I know this is probably the biggest stretch of family film. It's why if we were to rank this in quality, it would be like a top tenner for me. But I'm gonna put it lower because I don't think it's as family friendly. But I put it on my list because it is a movie I watched with my family growing up. We were big Disney people, so like Disney World people. So just getting this ride imagined into a film and it actually working on its own merits and not just being this cheap money grab was just something that was kind of novel at the time. Obviously, we've seen it replicated much worse since with like Haunted Mansion and Jungle Cruise, but this was a really novel concept at the time. And I think because it is based on the ride, it's the most family friendly PG-13 movie I've seen. It still feels like you can just sit down and enjoy it with the family. Yes, it has darker moments, but I just think it's so fun, so engaging. I saw this in the theater for the first time last year when they brought back a bunch of movies for the Disney 100 anniversary. So I was just so pleased to see it on the big screen. It still holds up. It's just such a swashbuckling adventure. It's in the name. So I'm very happy with it just being part of our top 100 to talk about. But I did put it at 16 because it isn't as family friendly as a lot of the other films because it does get darker. It is PG-13, so there are some moments that I docked it a little bit, but I would put it at 16 on my personal list.
Yeah, that's fair. Chad, what do you say about Pirates of the Caribbean?
Well, I am glad Dylan finally got to see it in the theater because I saw it in the theater when it first came out and with my mom, and I really really enjoyed it quite a bit. I do think it is a great, fantastical like adventure film. Um, I can see where Dylan's coming from as far as like saying it's family because it can be watched. I don't really classify it there myself. So I think that factors into my ranking a little bit, but also I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen this one, but I also, remember the last time watching it, I was like, it kind of it's not like in the middle. Like I do really like this one. I do think it's the best of the franchise. Um, and the rest of the franchise, I don't even necessarily think are really good movies. So I think this one, because of that, just looks so much better. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, I just can't rank it like too high on this particular list because there's so much on here that I love more. So I put it at 21.
21. All right. Well, Malcolm, what do you say about The Curse of the Black Pearl?
Yeah, I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it is a really good movie. And this is another one. Like, I don't consider this family. Like, it's like it is. Look, I can see the arguments why people do consider this a family movie, but just one of those ones that I don't personally. But I'm not. That's not how I'm ranking my list. And I love it. It's number 6 for me.
Number 6. All right. Sounds good. Brian, what do you say about Pirates of the
Yeah, I
Caribbean?
do enjoy Pirates of the Caribbean. I do like the second one that much as more than the first one. That much as my favorite of the franchise. But for me, I have it ranked number 16 for me.
Okay, 16. And for me, I can rank it really high. I'm a massive Pirates of the Caribbean fan. It's my favorite ride at all the
I
Disney
agree.
parks. And I ride it at least 3 times every time that I go, even if I have to like separate from my family or my friend group that I'm with. I just go do it. And this is my number 1 actually, so I have it ranked really
Okay.
high. Like I'm a massive fan, and like the reason why I do consider it a family movie is because of the ride. Because especially if you ride the ride first as a kid, and then you go see these movies and you see it brought to life, and also, I remember seeing it in the theaters when it first came out. I saw it with my best friend Doug, who passed away. He had some spina bifida, and like I think he developed some muscle dystrophy. So, but but I remember going to see it with his whole entire family, so not mine, but with his. So and I had a blast with it because we went to go see it. We're like, "What's this Pirates of the Caribbean thing? This just sounds weird. I'm not really into pirates, except for that Disney ride. Like, but it is based on that, so let's give it a shot." And we were just blown away. We were just having so much fun. We were loving it, and the whole entire time was so great. Memory there, and yeah, so I have it as my number one. So
Nice.
yeah, so with that, it's gonna go. Hang on.
Might be
Hold up,
12 even.
let's see. Yeah, 12. Sorry, I hit a wrong button on my calculator. But yeah, 12. So which means we have to make some
I think there's
decisions, huh?
nothing extra, so I think
12's
it's gonna
open.
Oh yeah, you're
be
right. Oh, perfect then. That'll be our definitive number 12. So the next one in that range is going to be tough because we got all these movies in there. So
I will say to counter your argument about why you consider it a family movie is like they've had rides based on Jaws. I believe there's a Terminator ride before, and I don't really consider them
true.
family
Yeah,
movies.
That's a good
that
point.
is true. Which is probably besides the Haunted Mansion, one of the like darker rides for Disney or the Tower of Terror, like those ones. But we're on to the next one. We're on to Elf, and so this time, yeah. So this time it'll be
Not ready.
Chad. Yeah, it'll be Chad first for Elf. So what do you say about Elf?
Well, I know how I know how like a few people. I know how Dylan and Malcolm feel about this one.
Yeah.
But I
Sad.
can't remember. I think I know how Brian feels. I'm not sure about Jordan. So I'm a little nervous about Elf, because I don't know. Like before I like joined, this community, I always thought it was like universally loved, and then like I found out, no, not universally loved. I just think it's like the majority love it. But yeah, I think it's easily a classic. Came out in 2003, and just like I think blew everyone away. It was just like the ultimate Christmas movie. It's like I understand like if you don't like Will Ferrell, you're not going to like the movie. That makes sense. But even still, I think it should be enough to win over people who don't normally like Will Ferrell because I think this is more than just like the man child kind of movie. I think he plays Buddy the Elf with such a endearment. He has that sense of wonder. He is truly like kind of childlike for a lot of it, where he just wants to find out stuff and like learn about himself and his life and stuff, and just that ending where he finally becomes the elf and is able to truly help and use his talents to help, and changes Walter Hobbs' heart and stuff, and that moment when he sings and the sleigh just lifts, like it's just
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just like one of the most beautiful movies ever, in my opinion. Like it really hits that Christmas magic to me, with Jovi singing and everything, and it's just really really funny and stuff. So I don't know. I just think this movie's incredible. This is my number 2.
Ooh, number 2. Nice. Well, Malcolm, what do you say about Elf?
Look,
Curious.
similar to Wally, I don't hate Elf. I think it's fine. I don't think it's as good as people make it out to be. I don't hate it as much as Anthony and Christine because I know they really don't like Elf. But look,
Yeah.
and it's just one of those ones like and to me, like, and I like Will Ferrell as an actor. I think his character of Buddy the Elf is super fucking annoying. He's not. I don't like him in the movie. And look, look. I will say I did struggle about what I was going to put at the very lowest rank on this list between Molly and Elf. But ultimately, I like it. That's a little bit more than I like Wally, so it's 23.
23. Ooh, okay. So these votes are going to be all over the place. All right, fun. so Brian, what do you say about Elf?
First off, I grew up with Elf. Me with Shapiro is on there, but I haven't ranked number 18 for me. I enjoy it. I don't love it. It has some good moments in there, like the reaction to New York City. But hey, kids, you want to see a romance beat up a mall Santa? You want to see him beat up a Peter Dinklage? Fun for the whole family. Number 18.
Yeah, fun for the whole family. There you go. Yeah, but so yeah, so I'm more along the lines of Chad here. I actually love Elf. I think Elf rules. I think that
Oh,
it's
the
like
sigh of
so
relief.
great, so good, and it's just one of those ones that like some of these movies, like I find that I can't really watch with the whole entire family because there's always one person in my family who doesn't always love it. But we all love Elf. We watch it every single year, and I was gonna wear. I do have a Son of a Nutcracker shirt from Elf that I was gonna wear, but I usually don't break those out till about Thanksgiving time. All my Christmas stuff, but and also I'm also sad that we lost the three kind of older people in the movie. We lost James Caan, Bob Newhart, and Ed Asner fairly recently. So within the last 10 years or so, and yeah, and it's also I think it's one that even if you don't like Will Ferrell, I think a lot of people though can come to like Will Ferrell here. I mean, maybe not everyone from this community, but I feel like the majority of people, and I just have so much fun with it. Like what they do when he's making his journey to New York, and he's going to the swirly, twirly gumdrop forest and all that stuff, and then he sees the Mr. Narwhal, and he talks to the I don't know what they call the like snowman guy, but he talks
Leon.
to him. Yeah, Leon, and then just like there's so many just like bits like congratulations, you've done it, best cup of coffee, or like for that special someone it's a lingerie,
Hi,
or like
buddy. Hope you find your dad. Thanks, Mr.
yeah,
Narwhal.
yeah, right. And just like so quotable and like just so happy too. It's one that you can watch even with like little kids and like they can have a fun time with it. I just think that it's just like just brings so much joy and happiness to me. So yeah, I have it ranked at number 10. So not quite as high, but definitely on the higher end. And actually, funny enough, I had it ranked 2 spots lower, but then once we started talking about it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bump it up a couple places because I really like this movie. So it's at number 10. So, but Dylan, what do you say about Elf?
Yeah, I know, Jordan, you brought up the trio of tragedies of the cast members we lost, but we also have a fourth major loss in this movie, which is Zoe Deschanel's blonde hair, which was my favorite hairdo of her career. I love her as a blonde.
And we also
But
lost Michael Dorner, who played the old boss character.
yes,
Oh.
that's very true as well. No, I was just making a joke about how much I love
Yeah.
Jovi's hair in this movie. But movie's great. Movie's phenomenal. It's my favorite Christmas movie. I think it's one of those movies that, for me, when I just think of family movies, I think of nostalgic sports movies, I think of Disney, and I think of holiday movies. And I think for holiday movies, this is like Chef's Kiss number one holiday movie, but for me on this list is number 4. I think it's solid. It's one of my
Ooh,
favorites.
nice. Well, I also was going to shout out the Peter Billingsley, who's in the movie as like an elf or something. But so I got to meet him at a convention. He was one of the nicest people that I've ever met at a convention. So he actually lives in the town I grew up in of Eagle, Idaho. He moved there, and so I know the town really well. So I was like, you don't have to tell me where you live. I think that it's so cool that you live there. But he actually just like, do you know where the Banbury neighborhood is? And he told me what the street is and like where he lives. I'm like, you don't have to do that. And so tell me where your house is. But he did it. so I thought that was kind of fun. But yeah. So with that, it's going to be at 11.4. So
That's already number 11.
yeah. So I think that probably will stay high, but we'll see.
It's
Not
going to
everybody
stay
loves
high.
it.
I don't think it's
people
one of the
really
2 worst movies on our list. So I would
Well,
say
it's either
it's number 7.
yeah, it'll probably move to 7 versus going down to like 24. Yeah, oh yeah, it's one of the 2 worst. So yeah, it'll be number 7. So.
There's no like aside from me and Brian, like it was going to go high regardless of what we said.
Yeah, right. Well, at least we don't have some other people like Austin. He doesn't like it. There's some other people in the community that, yeah, Richie, yeah. So, but yeah, I'm actually pleasantly surprised about that one. So, but we'll go to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So, it's one I'm pretty curious about. I'm guessing high at this point, but we'll see. So we'll go to Malcolm first. What are your thoughts on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory sucks. No, I love Willy
Yeah.
Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I think it's great. I know some people question it being a family movie because of the kids getting hurt and or covered in chocolate and all that. But I don't care. I love it. It's my number one. So
Oh,
yeah.
well, so I don't have a hot take, a graphic per se, but I do have the thumbnail of when we did our hot takes episode. So I'll just throw that up there for your hot take, Malcolm. There you go.
Wait, what's the
So,
hot take? That's not a
It's
family
a hot
movie?
take. I love the movie.
no. Just for the beginning when you said Willy Wonka sucks.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Just for the
Hmm.
joke, yeah. but Brian, though, what do you say about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
he's not going to like it either.
Yeah, right. Of
Yeah,
course
not 'cause I
not.
don't like it. Kidding.
Yeah.
I do love this movie. And one of my 64 is my favorite movie of all time now. I love the
Ooh.
music, pure imagination, Oompa Loompas. I even say when you about the other two movies say when you about Charlie Chaplin and Walker, I'm indicating that I do enjoy those movies. It's my number one.
Ooh.
At
all
least
right,
one
so-
of those one of those ones might come up in later episodes.
Yeah,
Ooh.
right. Well, so I learned a little fun fact recently about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory that Gene Wilder, he had a specific stipulation for him being in the movie and playing the character. They wanted to have a certain action. So like when he first walks out of the Chocolate Factory, when he does a little tumble and like the roll, like that was actually a requirement that he wouldn't do the movie unless his character can actually do that, because in doing that you don't know if like he's like a crippled guy or if he has a lot of energy or like where he's at. So it's part of the illusion and like part of the like I don't know about this guy kind of goes along with like the mystery and the illusion with him, because he first comes out with a cane and he's walking all weird, but yeah, and I'm a massive fan of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory also. There's a candy shop where I live where they play it on a loop 24 hours a day. So I'm sure the employees get a little tired of it, but I mean, I don't get tired of it. I love the music. I love the kids from it. Like even the annoying ones, like the girl that wants
Veruca
a
Salt.
golden goose. Yeah, Veruca Salt. I mean, even her. Yeah, like just saying like I don't care. I want it now, and like I don't know. There's just like fun stuff all the way around, and yeah, I have it ranked at my number 6. So, yep, it'd be 6 for me. So, Dylan, what do you say about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah, I didn't realize how popular of a pick this was going to be. I knew it would rank pretty highly on all our lists. It's cool that it's 2 of the panelists number 1, so I imagine it'll be in that top 7, which is good.
Yeah.
I like this movie a lot. There's 2 Roald Dahl adaptations on this list of 25, and I always kind of weigh which one I like better, because one of them I like the book better, but this case I like the movie better, but also this is obviously, as Brian said, had gotten many iterations since, and I don't know if that's changed this one's legacy. And then the other Roald Dahl, there's been a musical, so there's just so many iterations of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But I really do still think this is the best of those versions. It is not in my number 1, obviously. I've already burned my top 4 already, but it is my number 12. It's like right in the top half.
Okay.
I do really like this movie a lot. It is fun. I do want to say though, no one's questioning whether or not this is a family movie. I mean, Malcolm did a little bit, but for different reasons. But if this is a family movie, it's a musical. Singing in the Rain could be a family movie and a musical. Just saying.
True. Yeah.
And Mary Poppins too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
musicals can be family films, as is true here.
But it does get a little dark in it when they're going through the like chocolate river and all that stuff. So, and the slug worth, is that his name?
My main point was that people were saying Singing in the Rain, they don't always think of it as a family film because it's a musical.
Right.
And I just wanted to say this is also a musical and it is also a family film. So.
And I wish they would have made the Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, because I'll bet eventually we get it in the vein of Wonka, and I don't want that because I like this version way better, but it is what it is.
We are getting Wonka too, though.
Yeah, true. So we'll see, but I have thoughts on that for another time. But Chad, what do you say about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Okay, I mean, it's weird because I also really, really love this movie, but it's not in my top 7. I think it's really cool though that two people had this as number 1. Like I do think it is like that level of movies. It's just like so many movies on this list that I just really, really love. I had to rank it a little bit lower. I can't remember if I think I had this a little higher and then had to move it back, but maybe that's not true. But I have it number 17, which I admit is
Okay.
really, really low for it. But like I said, there's so many great ones on here that I do kind of wish I could put it higher, but it's just how it kind of factors out. But yeah, this movie does go really dark. You guys mentioned that, but I think because they don't really explain it, but I think like most of the kids die in like really horrible ways,
Yeah,
or
right.
at least
I mean, walk at this age, toward the end, they'll be much wiser next time. So
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
just think it's pretty funny how dark this goes, but still it's really sweet and stuff. And I always was really scared at the end when Gene Wilder starts screaming, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god, like really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But it's just like a test or whatever, I guess. But you know, no, he's really pissed off, and then Charlie kind of, subverts that, where you think he would cry, but he doesn't do that. He, just a kind boy, and that's who you want to run the chocolate factory. Yeah, the movie does rule, so I get why people love it so much. But yeah, I had it at 17. It's just how the numbers work out for me, unfortunately.
So with that, it'll go at number 24. No, I'm just kidding. No, it'll go at number 7 because it's 7.4. So even
I'm
with
pretty sure Roald Dahl famously didn't like the adaptation of it, which is why we didn't get Great
just
Grass
put it there.
Elevator.
Oh yeah, maybe so. Yeah, but I've always had a bit of a theory that Grandpa Joe is the main villain of this movie because it's like he's is completely bedridden, but then when he finds out they can go to Wonka's chocolate factory, he gets up and he starts dancing all over the place. It's
I
like,
mean,
well,
he
you were
Charlie
just
did
sick
help
or
him out
something.
then, though.
It's like, yeah, but then all of a sudden he can dance like that. Like what happened? Did he like really eat his spinach or whatever he had to eat, and I got some energy, so he's drinking Red Bull or something. So, but yeah. So even with two number one votes, it's still just at a 6. So we still got 5 movies that can go higher. So we're gonna go to Hook next. Will be the next movie. So for this, we'll go to Brian first. What do you say about Hook?
Yeah, Hook is my number 3 on my list.
Ooh.
I loved it growing up. Woofy. Oh, Dustin Hoffman is great as Hook. Unrecognizable. Love Bob Hoskins as me. And who doesn't love Dante Basco's Rufio? So it's a number 3 for me.
Yeah. So I don't know if Ross Bristow's watching. This is his favorite movie that he loves a lot. But yeah, I'm also a big Hook fan, which is funny because we did an episode where we had like JTE and Chance Ellison and a couple of Schmodown guys, and they were like bagging on Hook, saying it was a bad movie. They didn't like it. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, this movie's awesome. And for me, it's like the only thing I don't really love is a Tinkerbell character. I think that character's a little weird in this movie, but everything else is just awesome. Like I love Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook. Of course, Robin Williams is great. Dante Bosco. Yeah, the score is great. Even the like 2 kids, the like Charlie Corsmo and Amber Scott, they're really good. So like Run Home Jack. Like that's a fun movie from beginning to end for me. I love almost everything about it. So, but just based on this list, I do have it ranked at number 11. So still kind of high. So yeah, but Dylan, what do you say about Hook?
Steven Spielberg is my favorite director. And I think part of growing up, and Hook is, all about growing up, but part of my growing up and my coming of age is accepting that even your heroes and your best filmmakers can make stinky garbage. I'm not calling it garbage, but I do think this is probably Spielberg's worst film. I'm not going to hate on it because I know a lot of people, obviously someone put it on this list, so people love it, but I do think I just rewatched this again. I hadn't seen it in years, and I remember not loving it as a kid. It was always very long and boring, and I just loved other iterations of Peter Pan better. But rewatching it, yeah, like I think the flaws stood out even more to me. But again, this is a family-friendly, fun for the whole family show, so I don't want to like harp on all the reasons I don't like Hook. I will highlight the things I do, which is Bob Hoskins as Smee is fantastic. I love Maggie Smith. I think now that they have passed, all the interactions between Robin Williams and Maggie Smith kind of hit even harder. But I do think, I think there's a reason why. I just pulled up his name and I forgot it. James Hart only wrote one script for Steven Spielberg, because I think the stuff that works here is all the stuff that isn't attached to the writing. It's the visuals, the performance, and the style. But I think the screenplay drags it down for me. So this was my 24. I still probably would rewatch this over my 25, which is Mighty Ducks, only because it is Spielberg. So at least there's something I can cling on to and be like, oh, that's an interesting visual idea or an interesting concept. But yeah, this one doesn't work for me pretty much at all. But and it sucks because it's my favorite director. But I think it's okay to admit that even your favorite director could make something that doesn't vibe with you, and this is that case for me. But yeah.
Well, have you seen Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Have you
Yes,
seen
and I love it.
that?
I love it.
Come on.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So there you go.
Or have you seen 1941 or like?
I actually haven't. So maybe this might not be my least favorite.
Yeah.
And I think Chad and I might both be doing this, like ranking Spielberg's on his channel. So eventually, I know it's a big project to tackle,
Yeah.
but I do think when I rewatch all of them, this might inch higher, because also Spielberg, just seeing his background in all his films, with especially in regards to parenting and absentee parents, I think when you think about all the stuff that the Fabelmans lays out about his childhood growing up, I think you can see a lot of that stuff in this film. I think it's the dialogue itself for me that doesn't work as well, but the actual themes and stuff, it obviously works because it's Spielberg. But for me, this was one that I rewatched hoping I'd like it more, and I actually ended up liking it less, which sucks. But again, this is a great list of movies, and there's only 2 I didn't like. So the fact that this is only one of 2 I didn't like, it says a lot about the list being good. So I think
Well, they each their own, So, but Chad, what do you say about Hook?
Yeah, I mean, Hook is always kind of like an interesting case, because you do have like a lot of the diehard people who love it and just go like, I don't understand what people who don't like it are talking about, and then you have a lot of critics who are like, this doesn't work, and I've tried to look at like both sides and stuff, to see like where they're coming from, and for me, I can't not love this movie, so I'm on the love it side. I think it's a lot because of my nostalgia. Like, a lot of my childhood was just this movie, so like I see it from like a child's lens, and then now I have it from the perspective where I have seen it from a father's lens too. And so I think a lot of those things, seeing it from both sides, really hits for me. So I really loved it before, and then I love it after, and I've tried to engage with people. Like, I've listened to like well, at least one podcast where people were kind of hating on it. I wasn't understanding where they were coming from. So I think you're either just kind of like on one side or the other. It's kind of like the whole "is Die Hard a Christmas movie" kind of thing. Hook is that like one thing where you either love it or it doesn't work like at all for you. And for me, it's just so magical. When I was a kid, a lot of the adult stuff really really bored me. Now I understand it, and I think it's really cool. But yeah, I love how he has to find his inner child again to connect with his son and stuff like that. So maybe I'm not looking at it from a this is one of the best written movies or whatever, but from a how it makes me feel just purely. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from, and I don't know. I just love the food fight, and it's just a really really sweet movie. So I think ranking it highly for me would work on this list, especially in particular too. So I have it at number 9.
All right, number 9. Well, hey, if Die Hard is considered a Christmas movie, then so is Hook, because there's Christmas elements at the beginning of this movie.
I don't know about
that. Right? Yeah. So, but Malcolm, what do you say about Hook?
No, I'm pretty sure some people have put it on our list as a considered a Christmas movie. Yeah. But I would also be down to rank Spielberg on Chad's channel. Totally not it.
I watched you. He said you're watching Spielberg, so
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I love Hook. I think it's great. And yeah, basically, it's one of those ones like I get why people don't like it as well. Like it's one of those ones like for most of like most of these movies, like I get why people enjoy them. I get why people don't like them. Like I can see both sides of the pictures. But for me, on this list, it is number 2.
Ooh, number 2. All right. So that is going to put it at a 9.8. So technically at a 10. So I'm guessing it's going to go up, but I mean, unless anyone has any issues with that. But
I mean, I do, but I know I'm outmatched.
yeah, right. Yeah, so it'd be number 9. So just based on the blind ranking, it's going to go to number 5. So it's going to be above Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's just how it happens sometimes. Some of these movies that are the last ones to rank end up at the top and the bottom. It just
I mean, the
happens.
fact that 2 of the movies that are left are going to be 24 25.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Something I
2
love
of
is gonna
those.
get
Ooh.
screwed.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, wow. Okay.
None of those are 24 and 25 to me, but that's I don't know.
Yeah, no, me
But,
neither. So
yeah, but we're up next to Uncle Buck. So this time I believe it'll be me first. And I love Uncle Buck. But it is one that I need to watch more often. I think I've only seen it like 3 times, and I need to see it more often because it's a lot of fun. And I'm also a big time Macaulay Culkin fan. But like, how do you not love John Candy? John Candy is just one of the greatest actors and like most fun, and entertaining that's ever been in my lifetime, at least. Like so in my opinion, he died way too soon, and yeah, he just a lot of fun, and he has some badass moments where he goes to the and like tells off the school principal and like and the stuff with the drill and all that stuff, and yeah, it's just a great time. So I have Uncle Buck at my number 12 overall. So yeah, but Dylan, what do you say about Uncle Buck?
yeah, it's funny. I told Chad this off air, but I called my Uncle Buck for years, just not knowing it was based on a movie. Because I guess my dad
Oh,
and
no.
uncle thought it was funny, like, oh, we'll call him Uncle Buck. But then it stuck so much that now I can't not call him Uncle Buck. And now when I watched the movie for the first time a few days ago, I was like, yeah, it's hard for me to see this guy, and separate it from my own Uncle Buck, even though his name's Kurt. Anyway, that's his personal
Nice.
story. I think the movie's
Yeah.
good. I like the movie. I think I would rank it higher on just an overall, what would I rank these movie lists. But I think when thinking about a family movie, I honestly think it's pushing it a little bit for family, just because I do think it does have moments that I think if you were to show a kid, I think you'd have to explain a little bit of it, especially a lot of the sexual innuendos.
Yeah.
Just overall, just Buck's kind of sense of humor. It is a little bit more adult. I think it's one of those films that I think is about a family, but catered more towards like a teenager audience. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but I think on a family list, it for me when I was watching it in the family lens, I was like, this is not a family movie. It's about a family, but it's raunchy. It's dirty. It's like got foul humor, but I like that. But for a family list, it's what made me rank it lower. This is like the last of my like it tier. So this is my 23. I think it's better than the 2 movies I don't like, but I do like the
Okay.
movie. But on the family list, it's 23 for me.
Yeah. Well, I had a clip in the Seen and Heard movie trivia the other night. That was Macaulay Culkin just walks downstairs and sees his sister sitting at the window, and he's like, "You waiting for your sex?" And she's like, "Shut up," or just like the two kind of siblings going back and forth. But that part you may like even have to explain to a young kid, maybe.
Yeah,
But
and it's not like super vulgar, but it is, I think, in comparison to some of these other ones, pushing it a little bit.
yeah, but Chad, what do you say about Uncle Buck?
Yeah, I'm on a same wavelength as Dylan. I actually was sitting there watching this, like this easily should be at least well, shouldn't be R, but it should be PG-13, I think. Instead of
Yeah.
PG. It's just like I'm just like watching it and I'm just like, he's like sitting there like talking dirty to a washing machine. There's so much like sexual tension between him and like Laurie Metcalf in it. There's like a really raunchy clown that shows up. A lot of the stuff that's happening with the older daughter is a lot is like really intense a lot of the times. Like Buck thinks that the guy she's with might take advantage of her, and lo and behold he tries to take advantage of someone, And then also she's like predated. She's like there's a predator at the bowling alley that tries to like kidnap her in his van or something. And I'm just like, Jesus, like this. I would want my son to be at least like 13 or something before he watches Uncle Buck. Like this is kind of wild for a kids movie. Like I get there's some really really cute sweet moments, and I really like a lot of the movie. Like I know I'm sounding like down on the movie. I'm not at all. I really enjoyed it. I really really, and I have like a lot of nostalgia too for it actually, because I did watch this when I was a kid, but I just didn't like understand a lot of the you know humor in it and stuff like that, because I remember vividly so many parts, like when they're dancing and then they butt heads. I knew that was coming because I was like I'd seen it so many times as a kid, so I do actually have nostalgia for it too. And on rewatch I think it does hold up. I really like Buck's arc, and the arc of the family and stuff like that. I just think it really really works. It is really sweet, but I do also think it's really pushing it for family. So I actually ranked it at 22, and that's not because I dislike it, because I don't really dislike any movie on this list. It's just because it pushes the family.
Yeah, and the raunchy clown. I was just looking it up because I swear that I recognize the actress, the guy from Dumb and Dumber that they give the hot pepper to. Just funny that's that guy. But Malcolm, what do you say about Uncle Buck?
I don't know if it's just me, but their costume of that clown gave me very Art the Clown vibes.
Yeah.
Because, look, I
can
watched
see
it
that.
I watched it for the first time. And I remember seeing this clown just come up like, wait, is that Art the Clown? Terrified. It's like,
Yeah.
but
Creepy.
but yeah, no, this is and this is one of those ones like, back in the 90s, like family movies weren't afraid to sort of go into these wacky like plots where there's like very adult orientated. It was like think of something like Beethoven, which had a very random like drug element to it at the end, like
Yeah.
that. It's like
That's weird.
so it's not unusual for kids movies, especially of the like this era, to be a little bit more like have more adult orientated things. If it was released today, with the exact same plot and everything, it probably would be like PG-13. But yeah, I mean, I did like the movie. Like maybe on a rewatch, this would go high for me. Then it's one of those ones like, I in some contexts I do find John Candy funny at times, because I really liked him in Dirty Work, which I watched for the first time earlier this week. But yeah, I just thought he wasn't as entertaining in this as he is in other things. So for me, this is 21 for me.
Ooh, okay. That's 21. And Brian, what do you say about Uncle Buck?
I haven't read it before. I really do enjoy this movie a lot. Great humor. John Candy's graded. Number 4 for me.
Yeah. Well, this will be kind of interesting because it'll average out to 12 on the list overall. So I don't know if that means it should go up or it should go down, because it's either going to go all the way to 4 or it's going to go down to 24. And I don't know. This is like maybe one of the toughest ones yet.
I mean, based on what's left, I don't know if it's in the top 4.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will say down.
But 12 is exactly where I have it ranked for my personal list. But what do you say, Chad?
24.
Okay. Well, it's going to move down, sadly. I know Austin is a big fan of Uncle Buck. It's in his top 64.
He's really bad.
So, yeah. I was gonna be like, what?
It's just a list. Like if it was like a straight up comedy, I think it could rank pretty highly.
Yeah, right. But for family movies,
yeah, and I do think with the format, like if we were to just take all our averages and rank them, I think the list would be totally different. It's because because most things are going to end up in the 14, 15 range and then branch out. So it's like that's just kind of the nature of the game, and that's why it's fun. But it's also why
it is. Yeah,
not going to have the definitive ranking of what. Like I can do that separately once I have all our averages. I can tell you all what it would have been, but I think it's kind of fun that we get these big deterrents. But
Yeah, right. Because so of the movies left, one is going to be the worst movie of the whole list, and the other are going to be in the top 4. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens here.
yeah,
But
and all of our
um,
bottom threes have been taken. So like we already
yeah,
we already know that 5 of these movies are not any of our bottoms. So.
yeah, right. But the next movie we're going to be ranking is Matilda. So we are back to Dylan. What would you rank Matilda?
Yeah, I really like Matilda. Kind of what I was talking about with Wonka. I go back and forth whether I like this or Wonka better for Roald Dahl adaptations. And I also think because I was in the stage musical version, I think loving that version so much, I'm not as keen to go back to this version. I would kind of go back to watching the musical or the musical film adaptation. But even then, like it's still a great story, great movie. I think the casting is so perfect. I burned a lot of my top 10. And I still have some of these movies in my top 10 that are left to go. So this is not by any means saying this is a bad movie, but it is my number 13. So it's actually right in the middle of the list for me, because I would like it a lot. So
Yeah, sounds good. Well, Chad, what do you say about Matilda?
This is another big nostalgic movie for me. I adore this movie. It's one that I can easily throw on and just like fall in love with it every single freaking time. I think it gets everything about the story perfect for me. To whereas, I have a odd like love it slash hate it like relationship with the new musical movie that came out. I've never seen that actual musical. I almost did in London and I didn't get to, and I'm really mad about it. But um I did finally see the movie, and I love so much about that. But then there's some things that I think that it just doesn't hold a candle for me to the Danny DeVito movie. Still funny that Danny DeVito directed it. But yeah, I adore Mara Wilson and Beth Davids. Pam Ferris, I think, is the perfect Trunchbull. I don't. As great as Emma Thompson is, I just don't think she like holds a candle to Pam Ferris in it. I just think it hits every single beat so perfectly. I think Mara Wilson just rules in this role. I love the use of the magic and just the sweet ending. I love the cake scene, and just the Chokey is terrifying in this. I understand there's like more of them in the musical, but I feel like you only just need like the one. The ending is just so sweet too. Oh, and also Dylan, help me. Who? What? Lashana Lynch plays Miss Honey in the musical. She's also fantastic. But yeah, I
I thought
think
you said Ivana Lynch. I was like Luna.
no.
Oh.
And yeah. So, but Beth Davids is like the perfect Miss Honey for me. I don't know. I just adore it so much. I really want to like love on it, because it's fun. So it's my number 3. I love it so much.
All right.
Wow.
That's 3. Malcolm, what do you say about Matilda?
You are muted.
Muted,
yeah. Of course I am.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, I love Matilda. I think it's great, and this is one of those cases that if this was the musical, which I expect might be coming up at some stage, but I'm pretty sure Brian is a big fan of it.
Yeah.
I didn't choose the musical though. I didn't choose it.
Yep.
But yeah, because I actually really like the musical more and it's just a lot of fun and I believe when they made the musical there was random controversy because they just decided to cast a woman as Trunch was apparently the musical it's traditionally played by a man, which I think is that's one of those ones. I thought it was a weird controversy about the Netflix musical, but anyway, for this one, I would say 12.
Yeah, 12 sounds good. Brian, what do you say about Matilda?
It's number 2 for me. The childhood classic for me.
Ooh.
It's number 2. I love this film so much. I rewatched it recently. Danny DeVito, Will Pearl make a perfect couple in the film. Would love seeing Paul
Yeah.
Rubens as one of the FBI men, and it's great.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Sounds good. Yeah. For me, I really, really like it, but it's a thing where like I don't really put on Matilda myself to watch, but my whole entire family and extended family put it on all the time. So I end up watching it with them, and whenever they put it on, I'm always like, "This is great. I'm not complaining. This movie is a lot of fun. This movie is really, really good." And yeah, there's another one of those kids movies that gets pretty dark with like the like Wormwoods and Mrs. Trunchbull and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. And Mara Wilson, yeah, she had a string of some family movies with like Miracle on 34th Street and Mrs. Doubtfire and that kind of stuff. So
A Simple Wish was in there somewhere as well.
yeah, so that too. But yeah, so it is rated fairly high, but not as high as the rest of some of you guys. So I have it as my number 15. What I have it as, so just kind of right in the middle. So with that, it's going to be number 9, which it'll probably get the bump up because I don't think it's one
It
of
should be number. It should go up.
It's not the worst on this list.
No.
It's one of the best.
Yeah. So it's going to go up probably to number 4 overall.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Also, I forgot to mention, I love John Lovitz in the film as Sticky and Mickey.
Oh yeah, that's
The
right.
Nachos.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are just down to 4 left. So one of these is going to be our worst, and I kind of have an idea of what it might be, but we'll see. But we have My Neighbor Totoro, and it'll be, let's see, who's up for it? I think Chad first.
Yeah. My Neighbor Totoro, I think, is like one of those kind of perfect family movies. Just because it, like, I don't know. I mean, it has been a while since I've seen it, but I remember it being so cute, like in the wake of like a sick mother. Some fantastical things can happen. I mean, it's a Studio Ghibli film, so like that's kind of what happens in those movies is something fantastical is going to happen. I love the design of all the creatures. It's one of the big strengths of Ghibli is just Miyazaki is just the creativity is just unparalleled from him. And I just love the design of like the cat bus and all that stuff. And I think this is also another one where like Dylan and I were talking about subs and dubs and stuff. I think like both are pretty great in this. Like this is another one that even like the dubbed version is pretty fantastic. So you have multiple ways you can watch this, and it's pretty incredible. It's just one of those where I think you could just describe this movie as vibes. It's just really, really sweet, and I don't think anyone would go wrong putting this movie on. So I don't think there's like a ton of like peril or anything like that, but honestly, I think that makes it better for a family film too. So other than like the sick mother, I guess is kind of a peril. But then like getting used to like a new house and stuff. So anyways, I have this at number 11.
All right, number 11 sounds good. Malcolm, what do you say about My Neighbor Totoro?
I love My Neighbor Totoro. I think it's pretty good. And this is interesting. Like out of all the Studio Ghibli movies, like this is probably the one that I would say is like out of all of them is like definitively family movies. I think most of the other Ghibli movies are either real like most anime like can go quite dark at times as well. And so I don't know if a lot of the Ghibli movies are the ones you put on for the board there. But
some of the 80s ones like this and Kiki's Delivery Service, I'd throw that in there. But
yeah. I mean, no one's throwing Grave of the Fireflies on for the family.
No, no, not that one. No.
But for this, I'm going to number 13 for me.
Yeah, sounds good. Number 13. Brian, what do you say about My Neighbor Totoro?
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember enjoying it, so right now trade 1 for me.
All right, number 21. So for me, I watched this for the first time for this. I'd never seen it because I'm not a big anime guy. I don't really uh, love it. Like I know that it really works for some people, but the only one that I really love is actually Grave of the Fireflies because it's more realistic and grounded, kind of. So these fantastical ones, like I'm a big fantasy person, but just I have a hard time connecting, even though I love Japan and Japanese culture and all that. But it's just I don't know, like I just compared to what we have on the list, and because it was a first time watch, I just didn't find myself connecting as much. I didn't grow up with it or anything like that. So I have it ranked at number 21. So so yeah, but Dylan, what do you say?
Yeah, this was a first watch for me too. I've been, criticized for how late I've come to the Ghibli circle. But this is not my favorite Ghibli. I mean, Wind Rises exists, but I do think this is really, really solid. I think it was so charming, so cute. I forget who mentioned it, but it does feel the most like family friendly of any of Miyazaki's films. So I had this all the way up at number 8. This was my favorite first time watch for this, so I'm very happy with it there for me. But I'm a little worried now, wondering if it will end up in that bottom spot, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think I have this right. For some reason, I feel like I missed somebody's vote. I had it at 14.8. Does that sound right? I don't know if anyone else.
I
told me
had
wrong. Like Dylan.
21 on my.
Yeah.
Let me do the math real quick. Yeah, 11, 13.
'Cause I think I missed Dylan's or no, not Dylan.
Where did Brian put it? I missed Brian.
21. 21.
That's where.
I think I missed Chad's ranking is what I missed. Yeah, what was yours again, Chad?
11.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So then I have it at
14.8. 14.8
14.
is what I have.
Okay, sounds good. So I was right. Okay. So it'll probably get moved up. I would move it down for me because that's just like I didn't really connect with it. I don't know if anyone else has any thoughts on it, but
I mean, compared to what's there, I would move it
maybe
up.
15. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's of the 4 we have left. I don't think it is or the 5 we have left.
No.
I don't think it's the worst one, or the 4 we have left. Yeah.
Well, what do you say, Brian? You had it kind of low.
Yeah. What we have left with Little Giants, Toro, and Our Giants, for me, I'll move Toro down.
Yeah. Well, Chad, what do you say?
Wait, am I a deciding factor here?
Yeah,
Probably,
you
yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
it is number 25 or number 3.
Or number 3, yeah. What do you say?
I mean, you guys are putting me a thing here because the other 3. Wait, what
3.
are the other 3?
They're all in
The
your
other
top
3.
Little
10.
Giants, Toy Story, and Iron Giant.
Those are 3 I had on my list. Actually, all 4 of these I had on my list.
Oh, shoot. Well, what do you want to do?
All. It's not the worst, but I'll say 25.
Oh, sorry. It's actually going to move
God
down.
Damn it,
Dang.
guys! What did we do?
Well, that's where
Well,
these blind rankings go sometimes. It's
I
just,
guess
it's
that
luck of the
means
draw.
that's our 3, 2, 1 in that order, right? Unless
See,
I guess
people-
we'll still have to see. But
See, if people saw
We'll see what order.
down there, they would be.
Yeah, which I was kind of split between this and maybe one other one, but it's fine. But this is the one I was actually more advocating
How
to
it
go lower.
goes.
But so now we're on the Little Giants, and it'll be Malcolm up first to rank the Little Giants. It will be in our top 3. So
Yeah, this was another first time watch for me. And it's one of those ones like I enjoyed it for the most part. It was a good sports movie. But it's also one of those ones compared to what we have, it just ended up really low. But it ended up at 22.
okay, 22. And Brian, what do you say about the Little Giants?
Yeah, I do enjoy Little Giants. I love the chemistry with Ed O'Neill and Rick Moranis of these 2 coaches.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I have number 11.
All right, number 11. Yeah, for me, I have a lot of fun with it. Also, I think that it's a good time with like Devin Sawa in there also, and like the the annexation of Puerto Rico is a fun play, and like the whole like the kid who like has to imagine that it's toilet paper flying at him, and but Ed O'Neill's really good at just playing a dick, though. Like he's just really good at it. And then you also have John Madden actually showing up on the bus. I think that's a fun scene because he's famously known to have a fear of flying, so he just has this big bus that is like a real thing. And yeah, so I think it's fun. I have it at number 17, though, so it's somewhere in the middle. But yeah, 17. But Dylan, what do you say?
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a New York Giants fan, so it's been a rough year. It's been a rough year.
Yeah.
But I watched this on the bye week this week because the Giants didn't play this Sunday, and I got to watch these little Giants play on Sunday. And this movie freaking rules. It's so good. I think this movie is so charming, so sweet. But I think it's not just fun, nostalgic, and sweet. I think it has something really fascinating to say about gender dynamics in sports. And that is something that is a very political conversation nowadays about women in sports, and just the idea of, trans athletes being such a common theme right now in the politics world. And I think this is a great movie to show just these gender norms and this inclusion. It has these kind of queer undertones in that sense as well. I love the rivalry. I love that it is the Cowboys and the Giants, because as someone who is a Giants fan, I can tap into that big time. I love that rivalry. I love seeing the Cowboys lose. It's so great. Yeah, I really love this movie. Now, am I going to say it's like one of the best movies ever made? Probably not. And I do think some of the movies on this list are. So I did have it at my number 10, but like just a movie that I thought I was going to simply enjoy watching it and getting so much joy out of it. I was crying like an idiot at the end. Like it is so fun. And I do think if we're looking at just like family films, this is like the perfect family film sports movie, because it has so much like silliness too that you don't even see a lot of in like other sports films that we've talked about today. Like I really like Karate Kid. I like Mighty Ducks a little bit. Like I'm not as big on it, but I think this movie even has a little bit more kid friendly stuff in it, while still also having stuff that speaks to adults as well. So I was very happy. I think Chad put this on the list. I'm very happy he did, because I probably wouldn't have sought it out otherwise, especially given our miserable season. But I think this is what I needed to restore my faith in the Giants. And then today they announced they're going to bench their quarterback, and they're saying bye-bye, and they're bringing in someone new. They're going to get a fresh team. Tommy DeVito is going to be our starting quarterback now, and I feel like this is just a great kind of turn for the Giants in general. So I'm happy repping this at my number 10.
Is he related to Danny DeVito?
Not related, but maybe in some way.
Yeah, well, the other thing I was going to point out, and I love that like nerdy kid that's like, "Don't you be talking about my mama." There's a lot of fun too. So yeah, but Chad, what do you say about Little Giants?
Pitch to Johnny. You can't pitch to Johnny. I'm Johnny. This movie's incredible. It has like so many great jokes. Like the kid, like messing around with the sticky stuff, getting his hand stuck to his jersey. Maybe a lot of the fat kid jokes don't really age well. Stuff like that. But I do like how he like keeps like a sandwich in his helmet. I think that's pretty funny. It warmed my heart to hear Dylan say so many positive things about a movie that I've just loved for so long from my childhood. I also have it number 10, by the way, so it's really cool that he ranked it the same exact place that I did, because I knew he probably would like it as a Giants fan, and so that was really cool to hear all of that. But yeah, I've always into here. Like also kind of like from like a critical take, because I don't even know if I can watch this from like a critical lens, because I just have so much nostalgia, enjoy it so much, and stuff, and to hear someone like it who's a little bit divorced from the nostalgia is really cool, because not every movie from your childhood has that. But yeah, I think this hit so many of the great like sports movie beats. That's a really, really great rivalry between brothers, and Devon Sawa, Icebox, just everything with it is just really incredible. The one kid who, what is it? He like his head's like stuck in his jersey.
It like shrinks down.
And so it's like an echo within his jersey. It's such a weird movie, but it's so cool. I love it. So yeah, and with that, I think it's just gonna be the number 3 now.
Yeah, I think it averages out to 14, I believe, and so it'll just go to number 3. So, yeah.
And that was your Toy Story or Our Giant.
Yeah, which is sad. One of those movies are gonna. Oh no, so
Well,
it'll be the top 2. Yeah,
mathematically, there's
bottom,
no
the bottom.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
going to be the
Okay.
order it randomly is. Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, I was thinking we still had 25. We don't. Okay, that's good. Whew. Okay, but yeah. So Toy Story up next. So it'll be Brian first to talk about Toy Story. What do you say?
Yeah, of all out of the Toy Story series we got, this is my third favorite of the series. Um, it's a good first experience to Buzz, Woody, and the gang. It changed the game for animation, first computer animated, animated film, and a great 81 minutes for world building. Take a hit there, films.
Yeah.
Have it
Right.
ranked at number 14.
All right. 14. Okay. Yeah. So I'm a massive Toy Story fan. I love Toy Story. I'm also a big Tim Allen fan, so I'll watch like anything he does. But
Yeah, do
even
something out
Tom.
next year.
Yeah. Right. Which I'm excited for. With I can't remember the actress that's going to be.
Cat Dennings.
Yeah, Kat Dennings. That's right. Yeah. So and yeah, just has a great voice cast all around. I mean, of course, John Ratzenberger is in like everything Pixar, but then like Annie Potts and Jim Varney, rest in peace. So yeah, that's fun. And yeah, this is probably my second favorite Toy Story movie, and like even this one gets pretty dark. You have Sid, and you have some kind of like messed up, kind of effed up toys that are there, but then they get a really sweet revenge moment, and I love a really good revenge moment, like a screw you at the end to like the villain or whatever. So it's a lot of fun. The animation was groundbreaking, and yeah, this is my number 3 overall. So yeah. But Dylan, what do you say about Toy Story?
Yeah, I mean it's a classic. We don't have Coco or Monsters Inc. or everyone's favorite movie Wall-E if not for Toy Story. So I think you have to give it its credit. I put it at like number 5 as like I appreciate it and I love it and it's a masterpiece. But I know there's at least one more Toy Story we will talk about at some point in this journey. So I was like, it's okay if this doesn't make our top 5 and move on to the next round. But it's gonna move on to the finals because there's only top 1 and 2 left. So I'm happy though that it's moving on to the finals. It deserves it. But I put this lower than Monsters Inc. and Coco because I just think those films are the best of their franchises, whereas this one I do prefer 2 and 3 more than this one, and some days 4 depending. I do think this is the best Buzz arc though. I think that's the one fault I have with every subsequent film is that I feel like they try to pigeonhole a way to get Buzz in there, whereas I think his journey's complete after this film in terms of like the big fullness of his arc, whereas Woody, it seems like every movie there's another layer. They keep finding ways to get Buzz involved, but I always feel like it gets lesser and lesser. But this one is a very Buzz focused movie, and I think that's what makes it so good as well. So yeah, I love it. It's number 5 for me.
Yeah. All right, number 5. Chad, what do you say here?
I feel like we're often blessed with just like phenomenal, like, animated like franchises. Because honestly, I think this could end up being just the best franchise ever, like live
Yeah.
action animated or whatever, just ever. Because I think all 4 of these movies are just kind of perfect to me. I just adore all of them for different reasons. One day this will be my favorite because it's the OG. It's the one that got me into everything, Pixar, just animation in general. And I saw it like Toy Story on Ice when I was a kid, and just always watch this, just all like on repeat all the time. I just adored this movie. Played the video game. Just yeah, I love this one. Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3 rule, and then 4 was people didn't want it, but I think it's incredible and I'm really excited for 5. I hope they don't screw it up with 5. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they keep their track record. They just make another incredible surprise. So, but because also like How to Train Your Dragon's another franchise that I absolutely adore. But yeah, the first Toy Story I think is an incredible movie. Like you guys said, like perfect, like Buzz arc, Woody arc. At the same time, just really introducing us to this world of toys and Pixar in general, and it's brilliant. I had it as my number one, and then all the Wally slander made me swap it to number 5.
Oh, okay.
So it's my number 5.
Okay. Number 5. And Malcolm, what do you say about Toy Story?
I mean, I'm just nervous about like Pixar deciding to screw it all up by doing an inevitable live action remake of Toy Story. Yeah, I'm the same as Chad. Like, I think all 4 movies are great. And it's one of those ones like, well, yeah, like some people may argue that Toy Story wasn't necessary before it came out. But I do argue that if now it's out, like, and we've seen it, like, I do think it's got a more perfect ending than 3. And it's one of those, ones like I'm curious to see where they're going to go with 5, because it's one of those storylines that I've kind of been waiting for, like seeing how the toys react to these kind of new thing technology expanding making
AI.
Yeah, like so
Yeah.
but I've got the first Toy Story at 8.
Number 8. All right. Sounds good. So with that, it averages out to 7. So it'll be the definitive number 2 is where it's gonna go.
So,
but yeah.
So can we just move Iron Giant to 1, because that's where it's going to regardless of what we say.
Yeah, so I actually have. I'm just trying it out. I'm going to try it for this episode. See what you guys think. I have a little mini Hail Mary round of sorts because
cool.
because like I kind of feel like Iron Giant just gets the bump to number 1 just because it was the last movie on the list. So what it's going to be is we are going to give a ranking to the top 7 movies. So that gives 2 movies. Willy Wonka and Elf will have a chance to get in that 5 slot, because the 5 will be the movies that will make it into our grand championship overall. So I'm gonna do it that way. So
Hook and the Bug will stay in the championship then.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. That doesn't mean for sure they might move out of there. So 2 of them might move out if those 2 move in. So how it's going to work is we're gonna start at the bottom, and everyone's going to rank from Elf all the way up to Iron Giant. So just take a look. You got Elf, you got Willy Wonka.
Can we talk about Iron Giant first or no?
Yeah. Let's still talk about Iron Giant first before we.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, just to get it, let's do.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Sure. Yeah, we'll go to is it Brian first? Yeah.
No, I went first for Toy Story, so it's you, Jordan.
Okay, so it's me. Yeah. So Iron Giant. Yeah, and we can all say where we actually had it ranked. Yeah, I think that's a good idea to do. So Iron Giant, I have it ranked number 13 overall. I think it's really, really good. I just love the relationship between the boy and the robot. I think it's so just heartwarming, so much fun, and like the I Am Superman of it all, and like it might be one of the best Vin Diesel movies, even though he doesn't have a lot to say. But and yeah, just great from beginning to end. And it's one that I probably rewatch about every other year, and yeah, it's really good. So I have it at number 13. So we'll go to Dylan. What do you say about Iron Giant?
Yeah, sorry to jump in there. I just felt like
no, you're fine.
Give it a 2.
Oh yeah,
but I do
totally.
I do think this is one where it's one of those things where every version of the story that I've seen, I've liked a little bit more. Like I like Big Hero 6 slightly more. I like The Wild Robot slightly more. And then like looking at Brad Bird's movies, I like Incredibles a little bit more. I like Ratatouille a little bit more. So it's always kind of fallen like bronze medal to better films of its ilk. But I still think it's very good for what it is. I think the animation itself is a little dated, but I do still think it's a really charming and very sweet film and a tearjerker. But I had it all the way down at 17. It's not like one of my favorites.
Okay, sounds good. I'll still average them out just to see where we would have had it. But Chad, what do you say about the Iron Giant?
Yeah, like I'm a little bit higher. I'm definitely a little bit higher than Dylan is on it. And of the movies that he mentioned, well, I haven't seen The Wild Robot yet. I want to, because I think I'm gonna probably love it. But of like Big Hero 6 and this, I love this one even more, because of this. I don't know. I love what it like talks about with like like the military and just like how they're just like target based, and they don't even like think about like the actual ramifications of things before they just go in, like let's just go shoot everything, and then stuff. I have a lot of issues, how I think about the military and stuff, but
Yeah.
I think the movie actually touches on that stuff. It's like, well, maybe if you would like think and like look, analyze things a little bit better, maybe you'll see that's not actually a threat, and stuff. But yeah, it's just like a boy and his robot, kind of story, and I just think it like is so beautiful. And yeah, it's even in like Ted Lasso, they made the joke like this is going to be a whole room of grown men crying after at the end of the Iron Giant, because it's really that powerful of a film.
Yeah. But where do you have it ranked?
Oh, I'm sorry, I have it number 6.
Okay. Number 6, nice. Malcolm, what do you say about the Iron Giant?
Yeah, I like the Iron Giant. I don't love it. Like, and it's one of those ones like, I think it's good. It's just one of those ones I haven't felt need to go back and revisit. It would have been 18 for me.
Okay, 18. And Brian, what do you say about the Iron Giant?
I have it number 13. I love seeing Schumer Gavin as the villain.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot it's Chris McDonald. Yeah, nice. So with that, it would have been at number 13. So 13.4 is where it would have been. So, but yeah. So how the hell Merry Round's gonna work? We're gonna vote on some of these. We're only gonna do like a mini one compared to our normal tier ranker, but we're gonna do the top 7. So from Elf, so the movies will be Elf, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Hook, Matilda, Little Giants, Toy Story, and Iron Giant. What we're going to vote for first is which 2 are the lowest ranked out of those 7, and those would be our definitive honorable mention that will not make the final 5 going into the championship. So you got to
This is
be
too hard.
picky. You got to pick 2 of them. Yep, I know it's hard. so yeah, just like take a quick little look. Let's see. Even wish,
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
yeah. I might need a quick one. 'Cause I know one. Yeah, I think I got 2. I'm gonna put it in my note app really
So these
quick.
are all the mentions, right? It won't be the
Yeah,
championship?
yeah. So they won't be in the championship. They'll just be honorable mentions. So we'll go to Dylan first. What are your bottom 2?
My bottom is Hook, and then I would probably put Iron Giant before that. So Iron Giant and Hook are my 2 honorables of this 7.
Okay, Iron Giant and Hook. Okay, and then Chad, what would you have for your bottom 2?
I'm fine because of this slate. I'm fine with putting Iron Giant lower, and then also put Willy Wonka lower.
Ooh, Willy Wonka. Okay. And then Malcolm, what are your bottom 2?
Elf and Little Giants.
Okay. Elf and Little Giants. Okay. And then Brian, what are your bottom 2?
You remember my Malcolm, Little Giants, and Elf.
Okay. Little Giants and Elf. And my bottom 2 would probably be Little Giants and Matilda, probably for my bottom 2. So Little Giants will be one of the honorable mentions. So let's see. Let me move it down. So it's going to be definitively at the number 7, which means I'll just kind of make a little shift like that for now. But Elf and Iron Giant had a tie, so we just have to vote between Elf and the Iron Giant. Which one would you put at the other honorable mention movie? So we'll go around and we'll go to Dylan. Which one out of those 2?
Of honorable mentions, I would put between Elf and what? Iron Giant?
Yeah, and Iron Giant.
Iron Giant.
Okay, Iron Giant. And Chad, what do you say out of those 2?
Iron Giant.
Yep. Malcolm, what do you say?
I get a feeling George's going to be the wild card here because Elf.
Okay. Well, Brian, what do you say between Iron
The
Giant and
last
Elf?
vote for today be Elf.
Ooh, and sorry, I got to give it to the Iron Giant. Sorry, because
Oh,
I
thank
actually
God.
love Elf. So, yeah. So that means we're gonna just do a little shift. So these 5 will
Jordan,
be
you sit on
there.
a
But
phone of lies.
yeah, sorry. Yeah. But now we have to rank the top 5. What'll be the definitive? So we're just gonna work our way up. So what would you put for your number 5? So out of the from Elf all the way to
Actually, I'll go
to
head out, guys. Relay for me.
oh, you gotta
I
head
have
out. Okay.
Brian. I have
Yeah.
Brian's list written down, so I can help you out, Brian. I'll just
Yeah.
put whatever's
Yeah.
lowest on your list. I'll
Bye,
speak to you.
Brian.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Hi,
can do
Brian.
that.
Yeah.
Bye,
All right.
Brian. Hope you find your dad.
See
Yeah.
ya.
See ya. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe you can tell us Brian's ranking, but we'll go to Dylan. What would you put for the lowest out of these 5? What
Of
would you
these
say?
5, Brian had Elf, and I have Hook.
Okay. Give me one second. I'm gonna Elf and Hook. Okay. And Chad, what do you put for number 5?
Willy Wonka.
Okay. Willy Wonka and Malcolm. What do you say for number 5?
It's just with Ventravoli, isn't it, Chad? But Elf.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's how I feel.
I figured. Yeah. For me,
I
I
It's
probably
was
top
would.
5 though.
Yeah. For me, I would have gone with Matilda. So,
Mm,
but
it's
so it'll
Elf.
be Elf. So Elf will stay where it's at. Now we got to vote for number 4. Out of these 4, it's just gonna get harder. So what would you put at your number 4 out from Willy Wonka up to Toy Story? So Dylan.
Yeah, so Brian's 4 of these would be Toy Story. My 4, well, I'll keep it at Hook. Yeah. Hook.
Okay. Toy Story and Hook. Okay. Chad, what do you say?
I mean, dang, dude. I'll just say Hook. You gotta
Sure.
play games now.
Yep, right. This is where it gets tough, but Malcolm, what do you have for your number 4?
Matilda.
Ooh, okay. So now we have to vote between Matilda and Hook, but actually, because Brian might be the wild card here. That's the problem with not having
Yeah,
Brian
Brian's
here.
number
So.
2 is Matilda, his 3 is Hook. So I would say he would prefer Matilda.
Okay, so I think based on that, that would be the tiebreaker. I would say because we have
Yeah.
we have 2 and 2, so it'll be Matilda at the number 3. So all right, so now we just
Wait,
Wait, what?
no, I meant he has Matilda at 2, Hook at
oh
3. He has
oh okay
Matilda above Hook.
Hook.
So Hook would
Okay.
be the 4. Yeah.
Okay, so now it just goes. We'll just vote for your number 1 now.
Wait,
Here,
no. Hook would be below Willy Wonka, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we're not quite there yet. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we're still at number 3. So out of these 3, what would you put for number 3? So Dylan, what do you say?
I would put Matilda. Brian would put Toy Story.
Okay, Matilda, Toy Story. Okay, Chad.
Willy Wonka.
All right, Willy Wonka. Malcolm, what do you say?
Matilda.
I would also say Matilda. So that'll be the number 3. So now we're gonna vote on your number 1 between Willy Wonka and Toy Story. So we'll go to Dylan. What are your number 1?
Brian's number 1 was Willy Wonka. Mine is Toy Story. So it's one of each.
Okay, Willy Wonka and Toy Story. Okay, Chad.
Toy Story.
Yep. Malcolm, what do you say?
Even if they ask Willy Wonka.
Yeah. So I guess I'm the tiebreaker, and would you go with Toy Story? Because I love Toy Story. So
That's
that'll
my
be
original number 1. Perfect.
Yep, that'll be the definitive number 1 with a bullet. So that'll
This
be it.
list-
So
yeah.
yeah, so we had a little shuffling around. So normally what I do is I'll read the bottom 5 and the top 5. Some of these they might just be by default because that was all the spaces that were left. Like my neighbor Totoro might have gotten a raw deal, but it is what it is. So yeah, so our bottom 5, we have My Neighbor Totoro, we have Uncle Buck, we have the Red Balloon, we have the Karate Kid 2, and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So that'll be our bottom. But our top 5 that are we'll be moving on to our championship episode. Sorry, Malcolm, Elf is in. So we have Elf, we have Hook, Matilda, Willy Wonka, and Toy Story. So that'll do it. So those 5 movies will be there. But then we had a couple honorable mention. I'll mention Little Giants and the Iron Giant. So the 2 giant movies are honorable mentions. So yeah, but that was fun. So we'll save those for the championship, and then we'll have another one in about a month from now. We'll kind of hash a date that works best for everyone. So we don't have a date set yet for anyone that might want to tune in, but we'll make some announcements coming up soon. And if we can have all you guys back, we'd really like to. If for some reason it doesn't work for your schedule, because I know it's holidays and all that stuff, we can always have a pinch hitter if we need to. But we're still going to use all the movies that the 5 So yeah, it'll be the and I think the Malcolm's dogs are ready for him to be finished for tonight. so yeah, but yeah, that'll do it. So yeah, despite whether or not you can make it, your movies will still be there. So if you can't make it, I'll just borrow your. Well, actually, no, I don't need to borrow your list. You guys already sent me your list, so I have it. So we'll be good to go. But yeah, so we'll just do some plugs, and that will do it for us tonight. So. But thanks, guys. This was a fun time. So
I'll go first. I've actually got to rush out.
Sure, then that's good timing. So, where can we find you, Malcolm?
You can find me on Tape Productions with host Rankum every week. Next week we're doing top 12 TV show spin-offs.
Nice.
Tomorrow night I'll be on my personal channel hosting Sphere for the Past. It was going to be for tonight, but Austin was stuck in some homeowners meeting that was taking a long time, so we moved it to tomorrow instead.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about WCW Sold Out 98, and you can find me popping up here and there. I'll actually be on the tournament fights tomorrow as well, which is Jonathan Carr's top 64.
Yeah, for sure. But thanks, Malcolm. Yeah, and we'll go to Dylan. Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on my channel, the Dill Pickle Movie Network. I do a show with Chad on there, Picture This, where we talk about Best Picture nominees, every Best Picture nominee ever, including some Best Picture winners that were family films, like Oliver. That's actually the only one I can think of right now, but Miracle won our Picture This pool as well, as did, I believe, never mind. It came in second. Beauty and the Beast also placed high. So like a lot of family films we talked about on that show. But you can also check out all the other shows on that channel as well, and check me out just everywhere. I'm all around. So
yeah, sounds good. Yeah, thanks. And Chad, what do you have going on?
Yeah, exactly what Dylan just said. Check us out at Picture This over the Dill Pickle Movie Network. But then also check out my 2 channels that I do. Cinema Chad, where I do You Ranking With Me, is my ranking show. We have a lot of fun over there. Also check out Welcome to Primetime, which is a horror show that I do with my wife and my friend Hunter. And we have a lot of fun talking horror movies, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, stuff like that. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm also going to head out, but I look forward to the next one.
Yes, thank you, Jordan. Have a good one, guys.
Hey, we'll see you guys later. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again. Yeah. But yeah, thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Always a fun time on Best to Worst, and we'll be continuing on with the family movies. We got 3 more episodes of family movies coming up. So it'll be all from our list. You got to tune in to find out what else is on our list, and we'll be determining the best family movies of all time, and then we'll move into some other genres. Maybe next might be comedy or maybe action, something like that, but we haven't really decided everything yet. But yeah, and I won't really give you too much, but just what we have coming up in the next week or so. And also, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, definitely hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. If you're already subscribed, then share this video out or tell somebody else to subscribe, because it really helps us. Or leave a comment, because that helps us with the algorithm and all that stuff. So and then also you can find us over in the Movie Hero Network group over on Facebook. If you're not a member, you should go join, because that's a fun time. We talk movies over there. If you have any projects that you're working on, that are movie related, pop culture, music, TV, that kind of stuff. Or if you have a YouTube channel, definitely post over there to your heart's content. We encourage that. We'll tell people to subscribe. We'll get you views, likes, all that stuff. We're just a big family over there. And then just what we have coming up in the next week, we are trying to find a date for our Elton John versus Queen match. I'll probably be reaching out to some people for that, so that's coming up soon. We also have our big the Seen and Heard movie trivia free for all on Sunday, December 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So we will be having a huge event there. There'll be people from the Schmodown. There'll be people from the trivia community. And we have our former champion, Mr. Jonathan Caro, that he'll be waiting to take some of y'all out. and if you'd like to be a part of it and you haven't signed up yet, we may have just 1 or 2 spots left if you want to jump in. So just let me know. We're technically full, but I might make an exception if you really want to get in there. But and then this week we'll be doing which Malcolm already mentioned, will be our friend and regular of the show, Jonathan Caro's Top 64 favorite movies. And then on Friday will be a Movie Hero Mystery Tournament, which if you want to see which movies will show up on the mystery tournament, you can tune into what we did last night. Me and Brian Nussbaum and Zachary Shelton spun the wheel 64 times, and it's a wheel that consists of all of our favorite movies and then some wild cards that we threw in there, which could be anything. And whichever movies popped up on the wheel after spinning it 64 times will be the movies we will talk about on Friday. So that will be a fun time. And also, if you want to go check out our Patreon, also we have a Patreon. That's patreon.com/movie hero. And it's a big help if you go there and you subscribe for a pretty cheap, like $1, sometimes $5. You can watch the Seen and Heard music trivia over there. You can watch some exclusive music podcasts and our Elton John versus Queen match when we finally slate that in. Will be over on the Patreon, so we can actually play the music without getting any copyright strikes. So we'll be having some music stuff over there, so we can do that. So yeah, but that's going to do it for us tonight. So thanks again for anyone who tuned in. And if I can remember everyone, for Dylan Randazzo, for Chad Webb, for Brian Nussbaum, for Malcolm Lay, I've been Jordan, the Movie Hero Anderson, and we will see you next time.
Yo, hate real people wanna keep us in check.